Here we go then, everybody. Hello, welcome back to Who's Views. This is your big show. It's headlines on Wednesday, the 14th of May, 2025. It's 8 o'clock here in the UK. How are you doing? It's good to see you. And since we last saw you with the Doctor Who related show on Sunday, what a week. What a week. It's gone mad over the last few days. It really, really has. Because have you heard the rumours that have been going on since around about Monday afternoon, Monday evening here? It's just gone, whoo, hasn't it? Rumours, rumours, rumours. Fans live on them, but we've got lots of them highlighted over the last couple of days. We've got some of them in this very show. We've also got some of them provided by you. So thank you very much, first of all, to emails from Alan Iveson and, of course, to the Star Whovian. We're going to go through some of those through this show because they've been in touch with some of those. Yes, so let's get into it. We've also got, have you heard, JUNO DAWSON. Apparently, he's not very happy. Boo-hoo. So, yeah, we're going to be finding out why in this show as well. And if we get time on top of all that, I'm going to be showing you the response I have today received from the BBC Complaints Division about the show I Kissed a Boy, that homophobic thing they're throwing out. Lots of homophobia in the BBC these days. It's pretty disgusting. But yeah, honestly, the rumours, I'm sure you've all heard them. Have you, Paul?
I've heard a few of them, yes, I have. There's lots of nonsense doing the rounds. My favourite one so far, Billy Piper as the 16th Doctor. Yay! Fantastic story.
Really? Really?
Apparently, yes.
Maybe that's just...
make it up, I'm telling you. Honestly, yeah.
What is that one about then?
Anyway, yeah.
That's ridiculous, that one, isn't it? I mean, what is that? Wow, come on. Come on. That surely must be a rumour just from the press, just to fill in those little column inches they've got here on a Wednesday or something.
Well, somebody said there's 3 or 4 actors that are in the running for the new Doctor, and they were all at the BAFTAs or something like that, and she was one of them. So yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Well, anyway, let's start at the very beginning, because it's a very good place to start, isn't it, Who Views? It's good to see you all. It all started with this, didn't it? Yes, so this is the thing that they put out a few weeks ago, isn't it, Paul? Isn't it, Who Viewers here? The Wish World, which is episode 7, and the Reality War, which is the finale episode, episode 8. And they're showing it, aren't they, in pictures in the cinemas around the country. Ho, ho, ho.
And tickets are selling very, very slowly, I believe.
Tickets are selling very, very, very minimally. Yeah. If you're going to it, enjoy it. You might be by yourself, but enjoy it. Well, I don't know if you saw this, but there was a press release that went out just a couple of days ago on May the 12th via the BBC Studios Doctor Who social media. Okay, and it linked to their website, and it was a press release, basically. It says, Season 2 finale of Doctor Who set for simultaneous launch on BBC One and BBC iPlayer and Disney Plus. So this, Paul, was a little bit of a spin on the news that they'd given us before, because it's all going on the same time. BBC One, the BBC iPlayer and Disney. What the press release said, everybody, if you haven't seen this, now don't get too excited about this. It said, join fans across the world as the Reality War debuts worldwide simultaneously on Saturday, the 31st of May. Okay. Could 31st of May be Regeneration Day as well? That's the other rumour, isn't it? Following a cosmic journey of twists and turns as the Doctor attempts to get Belinda home, the epic Season 2 finale of Doctor Who will premiere simultaneously on BBC One and BBC iPlayer in a primetime evening slot on Saturday, the 31st of May, and in over 450 cinemas across the UK and Ireland. Titled The Reality War, fans across the globe will be able to all watch together. Sorry, that makes me laugh these days. As the Doctor faces one of his most terrifying and monumental battles to date in an extra special length episode.
Oh, no, it's not longer than 45 minutes, is it? Oh,
well, it seems to be. Season 2 finale will air on BBC One, BBC iPlayer in the UK, with the exact transmission time to be confirmed in due course. I think we've actually got that. We may come to it. And simultaneously on Disney Plus outside of the UK where available. This means that the episode will not debut at 8 AM on BBC iPlayer in the UK, as with the previous episodes of the season. RTD said the Doctor is doomed, Belinda is lost, Ruby is trapped, Una is powerless, the unholy trinity rules supreme, and the Underverse is rising. And now we can all experience this devastating climax together. all at the same time with a unique worldwide premiere. I can promise shocks, scares, and revelations off the scale. Come and have fun.
I love the fact that he said the Doctor is doomed. So I'm glad he's admitting it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about the cinema that makes me laugh is like with the viewing figures that they have, they could do the viewing that screening in someone's front room, couldn't they? To be honest, you know.
What's he like, everybody? But it's true, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It goes on to say, as Doctor Who Season 2 draws to a close, Whovians, I hate that term, across the UK and Ireland will have the opportunity to come together in cinemas to watch this epic two-part finale on the 1st of May, starting with the penultimate episode, Wish World, and then ending with the last of the season, The Reality War. Both written by RTD and directed by Alex Sanjeev Palal. I hope I've said that right. So there you go. So that was this thing that came out on the 12th. And from then, literally, all rumours broke loose because of this one story, Paul. One story. This was it, you know? And I was just like, oh my goodness, where's this happening? Where's this getting from?
Well, there's so many rumours doing the rounds. You know, the first one, obviously, from last week with the welcome return of the fugitive Doctor, who's always been. We're all desperate for her to come back, aren't we? So she's coming back. Apparently, she's one of the rumours. She's coming back in the finale. She might be replacing the current Doctor. Whether we'll cover that later. You've got the Rani, the Valeyard, Billy Piper turning up to the Doctor. There's so many things that happen for this finale. I can't quite believe it. Can you?
I'm just stunned by all this, actually, everybody. And so is everybody in the chat. It is good to see you all. Nice to see you all. See you all. Nice. Roy and Cheryl saying that these cinemas will be quieter than Snow White. And then we've got Mark Greaves saying, one hell of a journey home. More like one hell of a journey watching the episodes. Well, I'm glad I'm out of it this weekend. I am glad I needed that weekend off.
Well, there's a rumor that there's going to be a reveal in this episode, isn't there? In terms of
is there?
Who Mrs. Flood might be, like if it's the Rani or whoever it's meant to be, or Omega or Rassilon or whoever. Yeah,
I bet it's somebody like her boss or somebody is revealed or something like that towards the end. Try and get people to watch The Wish and then Reality War. Rose Kirby, hello Rose, how are you? Oh, by the way, happy dance like a chicken day. Who's looking forward to the Eurovision on Saturday? Give me a row. Yeah, if you're a Eurovision fan and you're looking forward to it, there you go. Put a rose in the chat for Rose. We've got Gemma with us. Hi, Gemma. Bill's with us. What else? Domgo, Raymond, and Anthony Parkinson saying to us, Paul, no cinemas outside the UK bothering with cinema screenings. Well, that would cost money as well, wouldn't it? And who's going to do it?
Yeah. And that's very telling then if they think they've got a market here in the UK, what's it like in around the world then? Is it that bad, really?
It's the same people that are going to go this year that went last year, isn't it? And we've also Andy Gladhill with us. So they will get maybe 150,000 extra views because it's not on at 8 o'clock on iPlayer. Well, no, they'll all be in the cinema, Andy. They'll be watching it together, won't they, at the cinema? Because the cinema is being shown at the same time as BBC One and the iPlayer and Disney Plus here in the UK. So they're not going to be at home watching it at all. It's
interesting that they're thinking about doing this for the finale. So obviously, like you said, it's Regeneration Day or whatever. But it's like they have to realize that putting it on the iPlayer was a big mistake. So if it does get bigger viewers for this finale, then that's probably why, because they took it off the iPlayer. It's daft, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, yeah. Gav B saying that's one cinema for each fan, surely. Bill Lowry is saying a longer episode, Regeneration then. Domgo is saying no one cares where this is shown. No one wants to see it. Well, there's a handful of people that do, and they're very protective, aren't they? They're very, very, and they've been we talked about it on Sunday's show. They've been very nasty since Saturday night. They've been very nasty. They've been calling everybody racist and ots, and it's tiring. And if you're one of those people that are doing that, get a life. Get a life. You know, you can criticize the story in the engine. It doesn't have to be protected just because everybody in it is black and everybody involved with it was black. That's not, if it's no good, it's no good. Art is there, as Paul said on Sunday, to be criticized.
Yeah,
this apparently is some sort of art. Honestly, these people drive me mad. Mark Greaves saying to us, somehow, I don't think they would need 450 cinemas.
I think one's too many, to be honest.
Yeah. How many supposed guest artists, real and CGI, will it need to be longer than 45 minutes? Says Julie Ann Goodwin. Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, it's a good one though, isn't it? Lex Kane with us as well, saying the Dr. Gatwa who is the new villain. It's the awful ratings. And Paul Roughton pointing out, similar to you, Paul, this is such an incredible misstep. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to me, everybody, there's no care being taken over this. And it just seems to me now, let's just get it out there. Let's just do it. Just let a big hurrah maybe for the end.
There's been so many missteps in this entire new era. I mean, I think taking away Millie Gibson for a start was a mistake. Having a new companion this season and not using her enough, it seems a bit daft as well. She's hardly been in this season as well. Likewise, the Doctor. So what are you doing, Russell? It's like crazy.
Oh, we don't know what he's doing. He's just going from one headache to another, isn't he? One cause, one agenda, he hasn't a clue what he's doing. Because it's not writing Doctor anymore. He doesn't care, does he? It's just about what can I get and what can I do? And we're going to go through this on this show, everybody. I am now, absolutely convinced that all he thought about was how can I get the fandom now? That's why one of our headlines tonight is the BBC has been trolling us. This was, I think, one of the starts. We've got the other one coming through. We've got Dalek Eye, 31st of May, happens to be my birthday. Oh, remind us, Dalek Eye, remind us. I'm hoping for a special gift from RTED. Cancellation would be nice.
That'd be a lovely birthday present.
Jodie's the 16th Doctor, says Domgo. That's the other rumour. And Jordan C, hello, mate. How are you, lovely? Hi, guys. I've missed you. Oh, we've missed you too. Where have you been? Just wanted to say, wasn't last week's episode a mess?
Yeah.
What did it get, Paul? 1 or 2 on the scores on the TARDIS doors here on our Sunday show? It was terrible.
Well, yeah. It was. I think if it wasn't for who gave 1 point, was it Kirsty? Yeah.
Kirsty and Garbage in the chat with us tonight. Hello, you two. Thank you very, very much. Paul Schlafter is also saying all these rumours have passed me by. What have I missed? Quite a bit of nonsense. We're going to go through some of them with them, mates. So stay with us. We also got Duncan's with us. Hello, Duncan, the Funky Evans. How are you, fella? And Sheila B in the Devotions is in the chat with us too. Stephen Bellow is saying to us, "I've had an ulcer flare up that was more enjoyable." That's funny, but sorry about that. And we've also got Jordan C saying I actually think the Eurovision episode will probably be the highlight and best in the series. You'll soon find out this weekend. You'll soon find out.
I saw a preview clip of it on YouTube before we came on. It doesn't look very promising at all. No.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. But Jordan, if it's shown on BBC One, just remember it's on before the footy ball, the FAR Cup final, and then it's on before the Eurovision Cup final, So the Eurovision has to start on the nail because it's the whole of Europe watching it at the same time. So it has to start when they say go. It's not a BBC show, it's them. So if the football goes over, no Doctor Who. Simple as that.
And they've not suggested they might show it on BBC Two or something like that,
no, there's nothing there at all. Nothing there at all. However, what I have found out from the TV listings is that there is a repeat of this episode for the first time this season.
Right.
We're going to be dealing with that on Friday, everybody. So, put it in your calendars.
Desperate for ratings, clearly. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. What's Saint 194 saying to us? So Wish War will be on TV the week before, and then the cinemas will repeat it along with the last episode of Reality War. That's right. Yeah. So you get that if they're going to the cinema, they get the Wish episode first, and then they get the end one, Reality War, after it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. It's kind of what they did last year, wasn't it? Except the times were slightly different, weren't they? So.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. This time around, it's all the same time. Everybody, it's on all the same time. It's great to see you all. Thank you very much for being with us in the chat. Mark Greaves has given us a super chat, so thank you so much, Mark. I heard tickets are selling so slowly that North Korea has arranged a charity fundraiser presented by Rylan, of course. Yes. Absolutely. It wouldn't surprise me, bless him. Sheila B is saying there's no such thing as the fugitive Doctor. Well, not according to the BBC socials. We're going to get to that in a second, everybody. I'm sure you'll love all that, Paul. But listen, that whole thing about this thing that's come from the BBC socials and then to their website about this remix that they're doing here. So, the final episode will be published, dropped, whatever you want to call it, at the same time on BBC One, iPlayer, Disney, and 300 and something cinemas in the UK the same time. Okay, so they must be very pleased with themselves here. This has been picked up by The Guardian. Digital Spy. Doctor Who's devastating, quote unquote, season 2 finale confirms major shakeup in the schedule change. Right, so let's see what they said about this. It basically recaps, but Doctor Who is in for a big transmission change in time for its season 2 finale. The latest season, starring Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor and Viraj Setu as Belinda, is gearing up for its final episode, which is set to premiere simultaneously on BBC One, BBC iPlayer in the UK on 31st of May in a primetime evening slot. Outside of the UK, the season finale will air on Disney Plus, with the exact transmission details to be confirmed in due course. This marks a shake-up compared to the previous episodes, which dropped on iPlayer and Disney Plus, where available at 8 a.m. Written by showrunner RTD and directed by Alex Sanjeev Palal, the season finale, The Reality War, was previously teased as an amazing ride for viewers. In the extra special length finale, the Doctor is set to face one of his most terrifying and monumental battles to date in an attempt to get Belinda home. Then we've got that whole quote that keeps rising out again, okay? And then it goes on to say, as announced last month, the penultimate Wish World and final episodes of this season are also set to screen in cinemas following their TV debut, with BBC Studios partnering with Cinema Live. Following the success of last year's Midnight Cinema event, we're excited to be working with BBC Studios to ensure that this time round, Doctor Who fans of all ages are able to share in the epic experience of watching the two-part season finale on the big screen. John Travers, head of acquisitions and distribution for Cinema Live, said of the cinema event. Now, that was Digital Spy's take on what was published by the BBC. Some others picked it up, but the fans were the ones that really ran with this. And so many different rumours coming out from this. And they are all rumours, of course, as well. Now, I mentioned the fact that the 31st of May could be Regeneration Day, because that's the last day that this is when the episode screens, isn't it? This is it. Yeah. That's the last day. It's only a couple of weeks away now.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have come forth saying, oh my goodness, this is going to be a Regeneration episode. Now, if you remember, everybody, we deliberately put that rumor out back when the first trailer dropped, when we saw this.
Yeah.
The Doctor Who logo with that Regeneration energy that we all now know. Only for it was a blink and you miss it thing right at the very end, wasn't it, Paul? But there it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's been running for a while, hasn't it? They did run it kind of with the specials as well, the 60th anniversary, but it continued, didn't it, all the way through? So it's really bizarre, though, that if it was it planned that Ncuti was leaving the entire time, doing what Eccleston allegedly did, do 2 seasons and out kind of thing? Is that what he's really been contracted for, and this has all been the plan all along? Or what? What do you think? You know?
The rumours are out there, everybody. Yeah. I don't know. Let us know what you think in the chat. Garbage is saying if there is a Regeneration, I'm sure RTD would have told us by now. Not necessarily if the thing's coming off the air.
I do believe he's been wanting for a long time, certainly, to have a surprise Regeneration. I've heard that. And obviously the Eccleston one was spoiled because of the press after Rose that he was leaving, so they knew that was coming. But I think he wanted to have a really secret one. The nearest they got to it was the Tennant one in Johnny's End, didn't they? That Someone Else Johnny's End cliffhanger. They did it for that nearly, didn't they?
It nearly pulled off. But that week was epic, though. That's when people were running around saying, "Oh my God, who's going to be the next Doctor?" Because didn't we know at that point that Tennant was leaving, or was that just somewhere?
Was it just around about that time? Yeah. So we weren't sure if Regeneration would be there or later, because we were talking about the specials, I think, wasn't there, and all that kind of stuff. You know.
Yeah. I'm hoping RTD goes out with a bang, and the next 3 episodes are completely insane, says New Who Hater.
Well, I think the series has already jumped the shark as far as I'm concerned, really.
Yeah. Bruised my toe today, says Cody W1, but it's still less painful than RTD2. That's pretty good. Hello, Peter Venkman fansite, how are you? It may go to BBC Two because there's a 12-year-old nature program scheduled for the same time, says Duncan the Funky Evans. We'll soon see, won't we? Because it's only a few days away. Paul Roughton saying to us, Paul, I went to watch the last episode of Doctor Who on the iPlayer and ended up being sent a link to a billionaire in Lagos who needed me to send him £10. In return, I would receive 1 million Lagos credits.
Did you do it then?
We've got a millionaire in the chat, everybody.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, we could fund the next series for the BBC. Yeah,
I know. Yeah. Hello, Woodhouse. How are you, mate? It's good to see you. What's Rose saying to us? That means triple audience for the finale. How much money do you think they're going to get for the cinema? What does it cost? £13.50 and £15. It might even be more. I heard it was £15. Didn't you guys in the chat tell me it was £15 when I asked last week? I'm really not that interested because I'm not going anywhere near it, so I didn't look it up. But if you guys know, I think people in the chat rows were telling us £15. Rick Storm is saying the repeat slot is because they are anticipating this to be booted because of the football. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I just thought. It was so typical. They were trying to say, right, hang on a minute. If it comes off, we can say it's going to be broadcast at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Go to sleep. I mean, come on.
That'll be interesting to see what that gets when we get the overnights for that one. Then, if that's what they do with it, you know.
I know. Anthony's telling us there have been BBC Three repeats for all episodes this season. What time and what day, Anthony? Because I haven't seen them, and I don't think Bedouina has either.
No, I haven't seen them either. No.
Hello, mate. How are you? Time Love Victorious is with us. That's Emilio, everybody. Hello to you. Hope your week's going well, my friend. What else we got here? Mud Crab, what are you saying to me? So 1.5 million divided by 450 cinemas is 3333 or so. Oh, well done. Only about 1 in 20 modern fans would need to go and see it. Technically possible, I guess. Well, if you look at how many of these fans went to the London cinemas last year, they were in the small cinema and it still wasn't packed, but they were all there because we had them all going in with their pronouns and their.
It's funny. One of my local cinemas, a lovely little cinema. I won't mention it on here, but it's a great little place to go to. They have a small cinema. It's got like a couple of reclining chairs in it. You can maybe have a small party in the cinema. Maybe it's got 12 seats. Maybe they could book that out. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they could. Maybe they could. Yeah. There's bound to be photographs from it coming up on the Saturday, isn't it, and all this, especially with the Wish being on before it. We've also got Benign Crinoid saying, are the cinemas giving out rotting vegetables for attendees to throw at the screen? Very appropriate for Benign Crinoid to ask about rotting vegetables, isn't it? But they could well be, my friend. They could well be.
I would take your own just in case they don't have any.
Yeah, surprise. Get some like moldy bananas as well and chuck them. Hate the modern Regeneration energy, says Stephen Bella. So do I. I prefer the original ones, as I would do. Of course, predictable as ever, my dear doctor, but I do. I think
it was okay as a novelty for the first time, wasn't it? And then it got
used because it was different.
And used. Yeah.
Yeah, but they've been going for 20 years now, haven't they?
Yeah.
What we got from Lex Kane? Thank you for your super chat, Lex. The Cloister Bell was not in the episode. Oh, in that. Story and Engine one, no, it wasn't. And then the TARDIS did go red as well, didn't it? I don't know. What else we got here? Paul Roughton saying to us, I suspect these rumors are being encouraged to try and build up literally any hype possible. Even if there's a regeneration, I'm not watching it. If Susan, the Rani, Omega all come back, I don't care. They wouldn't be the same anyway, would they? But we've had Omega coming back for years, and Bob Baker categorically said no, he's not, and that was Bob and Dave Martin's character. They have to go through the families, the estates now for that.
And the Ranis has similar issues as well, don't they? Because they have to do the same with Pip and Jane's family.
Pip and Jane's family, so they have to sort that right, and they have to pay those estates for the privilege of doing it. Now, it's not much. It's about £500 unless they negotiate. That's all. Yeah. It's not much at all.
And is Susan copyright of the Coburn estate? I don't know. But
no, she's BBC, isn't she? She's definitely BBC.
Yeah.
Shooty did say 2 seasons, then back to theatre. Right back when he was announced as the Doctor, he did Julianne, and he has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Because he's now back in the theatre. That's why we know he's not shooting any Doctor Who this year, because he's just come off The Importance of Being Earnest, and now he's going into Marlowe and Thingy. Sounds like a detective thing. Yeah.
Marlon Thingy says really good. It'll be BBC 4, is it?
ITV3.
ITV3, that's what I meant. Yes. Joanne Jones, probably, yes.
Well, yeah. Who was another rumor was surround? Somebody mentioned it in the chat. Another rumor was surround is that she is going to be the next Doctor, but as somebody in the chat said, she is signed up to another series. So, but there isn't any filming going on for Doctor Who this year. We'd know about it by now if there is. You know, it would be around in the circles. People would say, "Oh, but Bad Wolf is in the dark right now."
Because even if they try to sneak someone in with a coat over their heads, someone finds out, don't they? You know.
Yeah.
Because remember, I don't know if you remember. I know you didn't see it, but Power of the Doctor, the one where Colin Baker and all that turned up with Jodie, Sylvester, Colin, and David Bradley were photographed in a B&B in Wales by someone. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, yes.
And that leaked out. So if that happened with that, it's bound to happen with this, isn't it? Let's be honest. Yeah.
I don't think it leaked out because they were all like this.
Yeah, it was obviously blatantly publicised.
It was them saying we're coming back into Doctor Who. Because I remember seeing that saying, "Oh God, they've all taken the money and run." Good for them, though.
Yeah.
Hello, Greg Dunlop. 2 8-episode series, and he's out. No wonder Shooty cries so much. PTA is saying to us, "I bet the Doctor fails to regenerate and dies." Now you may think that, and you may be fun, but I reckon he's so angry, RTD. I think he'll do anything at this point.
The thing about
Right.
anything he does with it, though, it can be rewritten and changed. It's not a problem, is it? Really, that's the
No,
thing.
it's science fiction. I was
Yeah,
trying to say
exactly.
this to a fan yesterday, and she was absolutely 100%. I love the Witch career. I love this, and I was like, "Oh, I'm trying to say that. Well, good for you, but I can't stand." And of course, I'm the bad guy, and it was all
Yeah.
over the story in the engine. So when she actually started to call me ists, I said, "Now that's enough. You cut it out. No," and all the usual stuff. And she was just banging on, banging on. I said, "Listen, calm down. It's a television show, and it will end." And she couldn't handle it at all. She flipped at me. So I can't be bothered. She's probably still going on, to be quite honest, But yeah.
Well, you just have to
Okay,
look at what
cinema about
happened with it.
£18, Paul, says
Yeah.
Lex. Wow.
Really? Wow, that's expensive. Make sure you take your own sweeties; are cheaper.
£15. That's a lot, isn't it,
Yeah.
Kirsty? Kirsty's going, what?
Yeah.
What?
Wasn't the same in her day, was it? No, no.
Our John is with us saying, Paul, I think Gatwood decided to jump ship when he saw how badly his first season was received. Also because his Barbie role led him to think incorrectly that Hollywood wanted him. I think there's a bit of that, our John. But don't forget, Series 2 was filmed at the same time as Series 1. They had about 3 or 4 weeks off, and then they were back in Wales filming because it was done back to back with a break for around about Christmas, New Year, and then back to back. We do know that there were reshoots, but we now think here on the channel, as we illustrated on headlines a couple of weeks ago, we do think that was to do with Belinda's first episode reshoots.
Yeah,
with the robots.
That's what Russell said on Unleashed. But I don't know if he was covering himself just in case if there were regen stuff filmed as well. I don't know. You never know. You never know.
Well, it's possible. Everything's possible with this, isn't it? It really is possible. The Demons started today on you, Rick. It did. I was watching it right before I came on this show. I was right because I was watching the end of Colony in Space, and then it went to Demons, and I thought, yeah, here we go. And then, oh, crikey, we've got a show to do. Paul has a question for us, Paul Schlefter.
Yeah.
Is fandom in a worse state now than it was in the late 80s? I was a youngster then, but have read about it, and I know it was bad. This time it feels worse. Paul Schlefter, from my point of view, this is the worst I've ever seen it, and it all started in June 2017. What about you, Paul?
No, I agree completely. I mean, fandom was there was a bit of conflict, but not in the same way as it is now. It's full of hate. To use what everyone else says, it's all toxic basically at the moment. That's the problem,
Yeah, I just can't stand the way, and we saw it again, didn't we, on Sunday after the aftermath of Story in the Engine. Oh, it was so annoying, and I was getting very annoyed. And as I said on Sunday, I had to come away from all the madness as I'm preparing Sunday's show, and that's why we did the visitations on Sunday, where Phil and Teddy, his young lad, came on to tell us all about the Peterborough Doctor Who Museum exhibition they went to see, which was a blessed relief, quite frankly, because it was just a little bit of fun about Doctor Who and a little bit of love for Doctor Who in a day of insanity. But this is the power of social media. They're so angry and they're so nasty. And people in Doctor Who, i.e. RTD and Tennant and others like the casting director and various people that are some of the other stars, some of the other actors on the show have led the charge because they've been absolutely ridiculous. And so vile and nasty and intolerant, and exactly what they're accusing everybody else of being. That's them. So it's no wonder telling your audience this isn't for you anymore,
and then filling it with continuity.
Yes. Go and touch grass. I mean, no. And they're supposed to be role models. It's disgusting. You lot out there who are responsible for this, BBC Studios, BBC One, Bad Wolf, vile, the lot of you. You are what you preach and what you accuse other people of being. James Ripley saying to us, for the good of my mental health, I'm going to watch a Carry On instead. Thank you for that. I can get in this plug now because, of course, yes, if you were with us on Monday, we were here, weren't we, Paul, with George. We were talking about Carry On at your convenience. So if you haven't seen that one, if you want a break from all the madness, go and look at our Carry On shows. That is a great one. They're great shows.
Very funny. Yeah.
It was just needed as well, wasn't it, Paul? It was just needed.
W.C. Boggs, lovely. Yeah.
Which is exactly what we all needed.
Yeah.
watching this nonsense on Saturday, wasn't it? The Story in the Engine. Oh, what a load of old rubbish. Watching Eden with John Pertwee showed me more and more how far removed Doctor Who has become from its roots. It's Doctor Who, not Eurovision, Bridgerton, or Desmond's. It's a great point, Kev Gresham. Good to see you. That's a good point, Paul, isn't it?
It is. I kind of agree with that completely. I just feel that the essence of Doctor Who's been completely lost. And if people like it, then great. I know people who like Shooty as well. I can't see the Doctor in him. I can't see the Doctor in the series apart from the TARDIS, maybe the interior, and Murray's not so kind of third-rate theme that he's done for this version. I can't. He's not Doctor Who at all. You know, it's just awful. And I actually, I'm quite sad. I feel this way about it because I want it to be a success. I want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I just feel really sad that they spent all this money on this and it's a pile of poo, honestly, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. Everybody will know that we're like that. I mean, it is sad that we're there now. And as you mentioned, all the money there, and they didn't just tell us good sci-fi Doctor Who style. Imagine all the monsters and aliens and stuff like that we've missed. All these.
But that's it. I mean, this is what I was going to say. I've seen a couple of clips of the preview for Saturday's one, and even in the trailer we've all seen, there's a few aliens in it, but it's what the Disney Plus have done with the Star Wars stuff. They seem to be afraid to have monsters in it, alien life forms, and this is the time when Doctor Who could dine out on this and make them the best they've ever been, and they're missing the opportunity. It's crazy, you know.
It is. It really is. It's again, it's just missed opportunities all around. And one day we're going to have a look at this. And but this is what I mean about the fandom, though. I think fandom now is going to be always two divisions.
Yeah,
you know, with the inability to agree to disagree now, because they're so ingrained now with calling you an ot or a phobe or an ist.
Well, it's funny looking back at the Saturday's episode of The Story in the Engine. In Classic Who, I remember J&T would say, well, this is the cheap episode or whatever, and have it all in studio. That's what that one felt like. So where's all the money gone? If it's all gone on Juno's episode, we're really annoyed by that, because if they spent a lot of money on that, it still looks crap. You know what I mean? Like,
you have to tell me on Sunday's show with the review.
In gory detail, yes.
Yeah. Richard's with us. Richard Moore, hello to you. I was gutted in '89 when the show was cancelled. The '80s had their ups and downs, but the show still had the same spirit it had in '63. Now, I couldn't give a toss about this dross.
That's exactly how I feel about it. Yeah.
We're all on the same lines here on this channel, I tell you. We get the odd person that likes it and stuff like that. And some of us did like the Story in the Engine, and that's absolutely fine. But yeah, I mean, it's such a shame where it is now. It's just been going down and down and down and down, and the agendas have been pushed too hard. We're going to talk about doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, whatever you want to call it in a sec. Lex Kane, thank you for your super chat, Lex. I felt with the Story in the Engine, I felt like a stranger watching Doctor Who. It felt like tales of the unexpected. It was very preachy and no escapism. And I was lost, Lex. If you saw our review on, I haven't a bloody clue.
Well, as I've been constantly reminded, I watched it twice and I still don't bloody understand it, honestly.
You watched it twice, if you don't know, everybody.
Twice, yes.
I mean, he has been in therapy.
I have, yeah.
But
I'm going to buy one straight jacket for next week, probably as well. Yeah, so
don't worry, that's been ordered. It's got a lovely Who's Views logo on this as well.
That lovely.
Hello, Trek Matt. The Eurovision episode is supposed to be the most expensive in the show's history, so who knows what we're in for? More of the same, just with more money, I'd reckon.
Yeah.
And Jess, hello, Jess, JT and Co. Whoever you are, and hoping you're all okay. Well. What a week, indeed, Jess. Indeed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what I was saying there about doubling down, quadrupling down, whatever you want to call it, the BBC just couldn't help themselves, could they, on their social media platform? Because they absolutely did this week. They released the photographs I'm going to show you, hide behind the sofa now, and a video introducing or reintroducing, as Paul mentioned, the cameo actor from The Story and the Engine, who is, of course, Jo Martin as the fugitive doctor. So these are new pictures of her in this role. I believe it's a slightly different outfit from what I've seen. Trying to find pictures of her. She's got a new shirt.
Yes, that's right.
They could have given her a waistcoat that fit, for crying out loud. So these are the pictures that BBC Studios put onto their social medias, everybody. Yeah, so this, again, you have to ask the question, don't you? Why? And it's only because she's black.
Yeah,
that she was in the story and engine for a brief second. What a 60 seconds, something maybe.
To give the actor respect in some way, just a little bit. Coming back for a tiny camera is quite insulting, isn't it? Really, it's like
Yes.
so. There must be more to come, surely. You think?
Do you think she also knows that she's there purposely as a DEI hire?
Probably not. No, she probably doesn't see it that way. I bet she doesn't. Yeah.
Well, if she's watching you are, love, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Because
But
what
she
they've
won't see
obviously
it that way.
done,
No. Yeah.
what Chibnall obviously did was went back to recreate the Doctor as a little girl or whatever and bring you in as that because he was ticking a box. I can't believe that some of these, I mean, okay, they're getting work and take the money and run. I've got no qualms with that at all. Go for
I think that the
a little bit racist in themselves, isn't it?
Yeah. The thing about Jo Martin is, I'd say this, and I've seen her in other things. I don't think she's really Doctor material, but compared to Jodie and Shooty, she has a bit of presence, a bit of gravitas to her. The costume's better than what Jodie had, and certainly better than some of the costumes that Shooty's worn, in the series. So she has a reasonable look. But it's like, why? We said this before. Why bring all these doctors into it that never existed when you don't have any connection to them? Because they need to grow as a character, as a version of that Doctor. But if they're being like 3 cameos, only reason why I love Paul McGann is because he's done all the Big Finish stuff. You know what I mean? I know she started doing them too, but it's like that's why he's so good. You know what I mean? But it's like that's what someone said to me as a joke. Surprised there was an advert for Big Finish during the program that she's got Adventures on CD coming. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. So. I think Big Finish had an advert on their website saying there's a sale on for them or something, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. There can't be anybody buying this nonsense, surely. Even the most dedicated ones who say she's brilliant. And have you seen this on the social media? Under these photographs, of course, that they've put out, and that video they've put where they've interviewed Jo Martin.
Yeah.
They've interviewed her. Best thing, she deserves a series. Why does she deserve a series? Why?
Yeah.
Why does she deserve a series? Because she's black? Is that why she deserves a series? I mean, when you look at the post about people criticizing the story in Engine, I'm sure you've all had it if you've done it. You're eventually called ist or an ot, aren't you? Eventually, within minutes, because you're not allowed to criticize this thing. You're not allowed to criticize her. Well, yes, you bloody well are, actually. You bloody well are. And we're not being ists or ots in any way, shape, or form. We're criticizing them. And if we as fans want to say she and Whittaker and Gatwick aren't the Doctor, they're not the Doctor. I had this conversation yesterday with some guy on the posts who was basically saying it's canon whether you like it or not. No, it bloody isn't. Canon to me ends with Capaldi. Yeah. And even then it's a very certain elements I'm quite happy to dismiss from his era and Smith's era.
Well, it's like we talked about on the other show on Sunday about that someone said that she's definitely the pre-first Doctor kind of thing.
Nonsense.
But my understanding is that was said in a conversation between Chibnall and Jo Martin, but nothing's been written in the seas to suggest it or say that. So that idea is as horrific as far as I'm concerned. If that's going to be the case, when they actually say it in dialogue or in the program, that's when I'll be really annoyed when that happens. But it's not happened yet.
Right.
I mean, no one said it in the dialogue saying she was the first Doctor, so.
Well, maybe that's what he'll do, because of course this has stemmed the rumor that she's coming back, because these hold on, let me get this. Some of these alleged fans have said this is a pattern they're going to repeat, because apparently in a previous series where she was in it and then she came back for the finale. So they're saying it's going to be the same thing. She's had her cameo. There was no point getting her in just for a cameo. She must have recorded at least 2 bigger episodes. So don't be surprised if she turns up. And of course, that ties in with the fact that Jodie Whittaker is rumored to be in the finale as well. I mean, okay, I'll come to this in a second, because Richard Hussey's saying something that is the point there. Jason first, though. RTD and the BBC have failed, and he will now most likely double down to whatever stupidity he wishes to vomit on us. Calling something Doctor Who does not make it Doctor Who. His selfish experiment failed. I'd also include in that, Jason, Gatwa, not she Gatwa, sorry, Chibnall as well. His didn't work either, but they doubled down. John, although Jo Martin was on the screen for only a few seconds, she had more gravitas and presence than Gatwa has had in all his episodes so far. That's interesting.
Well, likewise, I think when she appeared with Jodie, she did the same with Jodie, because Jodie has no charisma as the Doctor, whereas she had more charisma just by walking on in the scene, But she's still not the Doctor, but she's got more gravitas as an actor,
Right, I see what you mean. I saw her in some detective thing by accident the other day on one of the Eden channels.
Yeah. Is that the one with Samantha Bond? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a while actually, Who Views, because I don't know. I thought I know that woman's face. I know that woman's face. And then eventually it clicked. I went, oh, it's the woman.
It's the first Doctor, you said.
Yeah, and I just thought, oh, sorry. No,
Yeah.
not for me. Didn't Joe Martin's Doctor have that big gun in Chibnall's era? Shouldn't she have that here? Said Douglas Smith. And Richard Hussey was saying, because it is a gimmick, but they think it will help the ratings. I doubt it. Now, this is what I'm thinking, Richard. Nobody watched it. Nobody knows who she is. There was no explanation about who she was in that episode. It's
I'm sorry,
very
even if they brought Tom Baker back, it's not going to help. Honestly, it's not.
No, it's not. But that whole thing, guys, because the way they film it, very old hat, by the way, it's the camera goes around this other character from Gatwa to Joe Martin to Gatwa again, doesn't it? Or something like that. It pans round. So it's an old gimmick.
Yeah.
And then she's there. But I'm sitting with people who said, who's that? And I don't know. Because I didn't for a minute. And oh my God, yes, I do. It's the one from the era we never watched. Yeah. So if I'm saying that, I'm back to being a not we again. So again, the episode has pushed me out of it. So if any public were watching that, they weren't. That's the bit where they're going, oh, this is crap. What is this? Switch on. Because it was confusing. Who's she? Where's she come from? What's she saying? What does it mean?
Now, although I watched the episode twice, I can't remember if anything was referenced much, other than her saying she was a fugitive back then or something like that, and that was it. Should he respond to it? I can't remember.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It was rubbish. The whole thing was rubbish, and it was done purposely because A, she was black and fit in with the story, and secondly, to wind the fans up deliberately, because they knew at this particular point, when it was all being written and produced and stuff, that everybody wanted the Chibnall era erased.
Yeah.
Remember the hashtag retcon Chibnall?
Yeah.
It's not done very well for them. They've been playing with a legendary television series here. They got it wrong and it's failed big time. And now we're all going to suffer because the thing's going to come off the air. Story in the Engine, says Philip, was like watching a Terry Pratchett story, but nowhere near as good. Not fit to wipe the muck off Terry's shoe.
No.
Yeah. And Paul Rose is saying, we don't want it. Hardly anyone does. And the overweight is healthy message is done. The YouTubers who are glorifying it have been dropping like flies lately.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I suppose people, they're entitled to their view, even though it's wrong.
I was wondering, though, we've talked about this, because they've never explained how Tennant regenerated from Jodie.
Or why they closed it either. That
kind of stuff. They've not explained that. So whether this is in the context of this era, and they're going to bring her back and make her the Doctor again, and you'll have Jodie as the current Doctor, that would just be awful as well. Jodie or Joe Martin.
That's one of the rumours, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
That's one of the rumours that's out there. And I just thought, what? This is where these people are getting so desperate. But again, Whittaker failed.
Yeah.
This whole thing needs a reboot. And as I keep saying on this show, this version of Doctor Who, which is now 20 years old, and how many seasons? 15?
15, yeah.
Right. Has more baggage to it than the original 1963 to 89, because when they did reboots, it was soft reboots done properly with respect to what had gone before.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
trying to fit in with it as well. That was the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just... Oh, Steve Bello, they want to call the fugitive Doctor the first Doctor, but they don't even get their own history right. She has a police box, but Hartnell landed it in London and it got stuck as a police box. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
So her TARDIS is the police box.
Yeah. Which is
and that the only reason they've done that, of course, Stephen, is to be able to say, oh, look, it's the Doctor, because only the Doctor would have a police box shaped TARDIS.
Yeah.
Not really. You can make it anybody, couldn't you? The Master,
the Master had his own police box, didn't he? There we go.
And he would take the P, wouldn't he?
Yeah. it's daft, really, because Hartnell even says on Unearthly Child about the TARDIS being stuck as a police box. Why is it not changed? He says that in part 2. It's like that was canon. That is canon. Leave it alone.
Well, yeah. JT says, Paul Rounton, it's not because she's black, she's a woman too. It's a double tick. It absolutely is. Dr. DEI, this whole series of DEI, Nonsense, isn't it? Absolutely nonsense. What we got here from Digby. Thank you for your super chat, Digby. Very generous of you. These seasons of RTD Who will go down in history as punishment television. RTD came back to torture us deliberately as well.
Yeah,
he came back with an agenda, and it is a shame, isn't it, Paul? He's just let everybody down, including himself. This is the hill he will die on now. He's going out. He came in as the man who made Doctor Who a success. He's going out the man who killed it.
As your mum said to you, he's not big and he's not clever.
So we mustn't let him forget it. Oh, what else we got in here as well? Julianne is saying to us, Jodie is not the next Doctor, not in a million years. She's off to ITV. Well, God help them. And Happy Man 050, hello, mate. Football kicks off at 4:30. 90 minutes plus 15 minutes. Half time takes it to 6:15. If extra time takes it to 6:45, that leaves 20 minutes for extra time at the end of half penalties and end of game talks. You've completely confused me now. What does all that mean, Paul?
Well, I think it means that, unfortunately, the Doctor might have to be pulled, because I think it wouldn't have enough time for Doctor to finish and Eurovision to start, I think.
Well, I can tell you... Sorry, I'm interrupting you. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I think that's yeah.
No, go on. You think what?
I was going to say, well, if that's the timing, because when's Doctor Who on Saturday?
Well, I've got it here. It's on at 7:10, with the signed repeat is Thursday 1:30 a.m. BBC 2.
Right.
There you go.
So if the football finishes roughly at 7:15, if that's what Happy Man 050 is saying, then that was still all these 25 minutes between that and Doctor Who running its episode, and it's 45 minutes long. That means that it'll cut into Eurovision, which you can't do. So it will be shown, really. Yeah. So
we might actually win the ratings game, because we both said it's going to get an overnight of 0.
Yes. Well, I have to buy you a pencil and send you a pencil then if you get it right.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
We've got here as well Mark Greaves saying, theory, canon I want. The only canon I want from RTD is him fired out of one. See what you did that.
Without a helmet.
Yeah. Cody's with us saying he's a very naughty boy. And
yes.
Tim Kintz is with us. Fugitive Doctor stuff is all fed by the same logic of rewriting history. You just plonk people in and demand we accept it because it's for our own good. Exactly that. Exactly. They know better than all of us, don't they? Especially if you work for the BBC. It's just pretty obvious. What's happened since then, though, everybody, is, the rumours, as I say, they've just escalated, right? Now, as we know here on this show, and as we've been saying for over 2 years now since we've been starting, alleged journalists troll through the fan base sites, especially the official Doctor Who ones. They even watch shows like this particular one with all of us to hear what we're saying. And then they build stories around it and they quote people in it. So this, over the last few days, was a gift to some of them. And look at this particular one from The Guardian. Is Doctor Who doomed? With record low ratings and Ncuti Gatwa rumoured to be departing, the Time Lord faces an uncertain future. Could this be for good? The article goes on. The Doctor has fought enemies like the Daleks, the Cybermen, all through time and space. But the Time Lord may now be facing his greatest threat. Viewer apathy in a time of television industry upheaval as rumours of cancellation and the departure of its leading actor swirl. With this year's series of Doctor Who approaching its midpoint and seeing record low ratings, there is still no sign from the BBC or streaming partner Disney Plus if the show has a future beyond May. Showrunner RTD has insisted that it was always the plan not to commission more episodes until after this season aired in full, but that stance contrasts with his promise of annual Doctor Who, no gap years, lots of content, on and on and on, which was made when he returned to the show in 2023. With nothing in production, it would already be a tight squeeze to have a series ready for the start of 2026. If Disney Plus decides not to renew its distribution and funding deal, that would leave the BBC with 3 choices. Cast around for a new international streaming partner, go back to making the show in-house on a more constrained budget, or put it on hiatus. This year's season has also been dogged by rumours of premature exit for the show's leading light, 32-year-old Gatwa, who first appeared in the role in 2023. After an acclaimed run in The Importance of Being Earnest in the West End, Gatwa is to tread the boards again in 2025. He will star as playwright Christopher Marlowe opposite Edward Blumel's William Shakespeare in Born with Teeth at London Wyndham's Theatre from mid-August until the 1st of November. That doesn't suggest the actor expects to be in the TARDIS anytime soon. Reports of belated reshoots of the current series in February this year have only added to the rumour mill. A Gower exit would mean he had appeared in only 2 series, fewer than any Doctor, with the exception of Christopher Eccleston. However, viewer apathy may be a bigger problem than money or casting. Nowadays, overnight ratings are far from the be-all and end-all. Here we go. Remember, this is The Guardian. But the second episode of this year's run, Lux, set the unwanted record of the lowest overnight rating in the 62-year history of the show at 1.58 million. RTD and BBC executives may be buoyed, though, that the season open at the Robot Revolution was still the second most viewed BBC show of the day and gained a huge uplift via streaming, blah, 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 with nearly 75% of views online. Saturday's episode of The Well bounced up to 1.9 million BBC One viewers. The BBC is confident it is still enough of a draw to screen the series finale in UK cinemas. Taken overall, though, even with changes in viewing habits, those figures suggest that the new iteration of Doctor Who, made by Bad Wolf and part funded by Disney Plus, has not halted a long-term trend of declining viewing figures. That must have hurt them to say it.
Yeah.
After the final episode of this Doctor Who season airs on the 31st of May, the only known remaining Whoniverse production is spin-off The War Between the Land and the Sea, co-written by Pete McTeague and RTD, and starring Russell Tovey and Gugu Mbatha-Raw. The limited series is expected to air in the autumn or the winter. It runs the risk of being a spin-off from a show that is no longer being made. Doctor Who has survived interruptions and cancellations before. An attempt by BBC bosses to axe it in the mid-80s was converted into an 18-month hiatus. The show's original run eventually came to an end in 89, and perhaps history is in the process of repeating itself. Fans now regard some of those final Sylvester McCoy stories, such as Remembrance of the Daleks and The Curse of Fenric, as some of the best of the entire series. But by then, few were watching and the writing was on the wall. Maybe, regardless of how good some of the Gatwa episodes have been, Boom, 73 Yards, and Dot and Ethel remain likely to be well regarded by fans for decades. Time is simply up for this version of Doctor Who in this television landscape. Without a regular TV series between 1989 and 2005, creativity amongst fans flourished, with different strands of books, audio stories, comics, and webcasts featuring a multitude of different takes on what Doctor Who could be. Some dream of that freedom again, although it is likely the BBC would keep a tighter leash on its franchise IP than it did in the 90s. Whatever format Doctor Who may take in future, as RTD has implied, it is unlikely we have heard the last of the Time Lord forever. Face-changing alien with a magic box that travels anywhere in time and space will always remain an irresistible storytelling formula.
What is interesting about this is how he started off being really cocky and keen that there'd be no gap years, constant seasons, etc. But if Doctor Who was so popular this era, if the first season had got 10 million viewers, would they wait till May this year to commission a third series, do you think?
No.
Yeah.
No. I don't
so
think
why are they doing it now? Why are they waiting till May? Because the ratings aren't any better. In fact, they're worse. So why are they waiting till that point to decide on the future of it?
This is what I'm hoping will come out in time, because a decision must surely have been made now. Because if they were going to go for a season 3, with him saying no gap years, continual, on and on and on, blah blah blah, they would have to be in production now.
Yeah.
But
that's why I'm questioning the plan, though. If episode 1, Church and Ruby Road, got 25 million, they would have commissioned season 3 on the back of that, wouldn't they? But they haven't. Yeah. So it's to do with the fact it's not succeeding, that they're waiting to see if it's going to be better. It's not better, so surely it's now finished. That's to kind of question the naysayers who are saying it's still going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I may have said this, but I personally think it's because they daren't say anything that will get people switching
while it's on the telly. Yeah, while it's on. Yeah.
And also because, let's face it, let's be honest here, everybody. The people that are watching and so invested in the show, as we have seen on Sunday with their venom, are unhinged. They are unhinged. I'm going to be honest here. That's how I look at them. They are seriously unhinged. A lot of them seem to have some sort of mental well-being issue going on. To resort to that level of aggression over a television show. That's what I'm getting at. It's a television show. And I don't think some of these idiots will be able to deal with the fact it's not on for a
Yeah,
number of years. Not like
yeah,
all of us who got on with life and then started looking at other stuff. And he, as he alluded to there, and can I just point out as well, those wilderness years for a lot of us were brilliant. I spent
yeah,
a lot of time going to Doctor Who conventions and meeting a lot of people and
yeah,
having a lovely time and doing the odd bit of stuff, you know, and reading Doctor Who monthly and some of the books. Not everybody did though. It wasn't for them. They
yeah,
just invested in the videos and then the DVDs, and that was fine.
yeah,
You know, it was whatever you wanted to do. But we all had a love of a then closed off 26-year run, didn't we?
yeah.
And we all
And
had that in common. Now we don't. When this thing comes off again, that's why I'm saying fandom will never be the same, Who viewers, in my opinion, for the simple reason we don't have that. Because some of us finished in 89, 96, 2005, when
yeah,
Tennant left, when Smith left, when Capaldi left, when Whittaker left. Look to how many of the ladies left with Whittaker. They didn't come back for Gatwa. Yes. And that, do you know what I mean? It's totally different now. We're never going to be whole again because this argument is now going to be going on for years about this. What's it called? The Joe Martin thing, the timeless children thing.
and the Fugitive Doctor, yeah, all that,
Yes,
yeah,
that's going to be going on for years now, and they've done it deliberately. These idiots running the show, they've done it deliberately because of their own alleged progressive outlook.
I wouldn't mind if it was a good story development, but the missing the point. The Doctors might be mysterious. The more so there's another incarnation, but we're going to tell us all about that and the fact that the Doctor allegedly was a being from another galaxy, not from Gallifrey at all, and all that kind of stuff. But the thing about the current state we're in just now is
I don't understand that.
There isn't the goodwill that we had in 2005 to bring it back. We're not going to pull together and go, yes, let's bring it back. We'll go, no, let's not bother. You know what I mean? We don't care anymore. You know.
This time round, it would be interesting to see how many stay with it. Like we all stayed with it, didn't we? Whoviewers, those of us that were around, we stayed with it for 15 years off the air. Yeah, how many of this current lot would manage to do that? And then, as I say, they're going to have to anybody who is brave enough to take it back on now. I personally think, and if it's one of you people watching out there, don't look at the current stuff. Do it again. Get rid of it. Don't try and say, oh, this is Dr. 15 or wherever we are. I don't know. Don't acknowledge the timeless children nonsense. Get on with it. I'd go back to the original 4 Doctors, to be quite honest, and say, what's the magic here? What's the magic? And try and encapsulate that again and get it going. I don't know about you. What would you do?
Well, I'm the same. I think they should really go back to the start and make it, the Doctor's a traveller, travelling around with companions, fighting monsters. He can't control the TARDIS, which is a fantastic idea. And I used to love the fact the Doctor would try and go somewhere and never land in the right place. And that carried on for such a long time, at least in probably till about the 70s, 80s kind of time. You know what I mean? Up till till Legopolis, when the Doctor could control TARDIS a little bit. You know what I mean? But that was even too much for me. I like the fact he just turned up somewhere, they had an adventure. The TARDIS was just a door to another adventure, really. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's the way it should have been. Not dwell on, in the interiors of the TARDIS, wandering around like Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS, that bloody awful episode they had with Smith. So you want to just have it as a storytelling device. That's all. Yeah.
By the way, says Rose Kirby Paul, I have now watched 5 different reviews of episode 5 Story in the Engine. I so loved saying more of the Spider. It had really good graphics. That's the problem for me, Rose, now. It's not about story anymore. It's not about the quality. It's all about the CGI, which is going to date anyway. It's about the effects. I don't really care how good the bloody Spider looked at. I don't even know why it was in the story. What's it have to do with the story? I don't know, because the story didn't tell me, Rose. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, I can't be done with fickle nonsense, quite frankly, about, the effects look good, or the CGI look. I can't be done with that. I want the story good. I want the actors good. I want the continuity respected. I don't want continuity all the time, but I want it respected. I want care. I want love. And this is what I think this numbskull edition version of Dr. DEI that RTD has continued. I just don't think there's any care, any love, any passion, or any want to make it into Doctor Who, because he could have done.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Easily could have done it, and I think it's a shame he didn't, because we're all expecting him to do that and make it better. But I do kind of feel that I think having good special effects is a no-brainer nowadays. I think that's great. But as I said many times before, it shouldn't overwhelm the story. It's there for a purpose, the effects to enhance what the story is, not instead of the story, which they're kind of doing, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah. It's going to be one of those things we're going to discuss in the future, isn't it? You know, what if RTD had just come back without all his bloody agendas and his progressive far left attitudes and his dictates and his nonsense and his, you know, complete and utter derangement.
And Mal Young had come back with him at the same time. That would be good.
But you know what, though? It's hard to say. I mean, Terrified Monk, hello. My biggest fear is that it's picked up and keeps on the same path. If it does, I'm out after this season. I can hardly watch the current run. Now, I have to say, and I've mentioned this before on our shows, the entertainment industry, I use the word entertainment in a vomit bag because it's not entertaining anymore, in my opinion. But the show business industry is rife with this nonsense. It's rife. I mean, I've mentioned it before, Paul. I am on The Stage Facebook, which is the newspaper of the industry here in the UK. It has been for decades. I grew up with The Stage. You grew up with The Stage.
I used to have a subscription to it, yes.
Yes, me too, back in the day, until it got too much. But it was lovely because it gave you the notices of jobs, and who was going where, who was doing this. It did have some nice coverage back in the late 80s about Sylvester when he was doing Doctor Who, and the reviews were terrible, by the way, everybody. But they were nice about Sylv, but they were terrible about the product. They didn't like John at that point as well, Nathan Turner. He must have been paying him to read it. But it's done, you know, there was some interesting stuff, nice interviews with people. It was a newspaper for the industry to know what was going on. Now it's full of all these people that can't tell the difference between man and a woman. It's incredibly far left as the industry is. It's horrible. All you have to do is go on their Facebook page and look at some of these comments and look at the homophobic attacks I get from people who call themselves allies. They're all along the David Tennant route. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, it's shocking. It's shocking. And yet you've got to carry on doing it because you've got to wake that industry up and shake it, because people like RTD have been dictating to it too much, and Stonewall and all this. They are delusions. So Terrified Monk, if it came back any time in the next couple of years, it would be the same, I reckon. It needs a damn good rest until the entertainment industry gets itself, and all this nonsense and all this fantasy and disillusion and all this rubbish works itself out, which hopefully it will. But I don't think it should be coming back until people have regained common sense, personally. So I'm with you, Terrified Monk. I really are. Paul Gav B wants to know, if very few people are watching the main show, who the hell is going to watch a spin-off series?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they can't even go. It's the war between the land and the sea from the makers of Doctor Who as a positive. They can't even do that, can they?
That's still on, the public will say.
Yeah. Doctor
I mean,
Who.
From what we've seen as well, Who viewers, haven't we, from those leaked pictures, it hasn't even got the proper monsters in it from the Sea Devils because they've redesigned them to look too Star Trek-y.
Yeah.
So that's not going to bring in the great British public over 5 weeks or 5 nights or however, is it?
And if it's going to be a soap opera with Sea Devils, who wants that, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's true. It's going to flop again. It really, really is. Two of the likely to be remembered as good lists stories are Dr. Light ones. That's true, isn't it? Yeah. It's true. It's not magic, it's scientific, says Peter Venkman fan site. Lex is saying to us, I think this spin-off, The War Between the Land and the Sea, all episodes will go straight onto the iPlayer with the failure of this era of Doctor Who. It is an option for them. It really is.
I wonder if it will be soap opera. It probably will be. The Sea Devils have their own pub, like the Queen Vic, under the water or something like that. You know, be in the pub, having a few pints, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds far more interesting than it's going to be. I know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have to. That's what Lucky Day is, the pilot. For the spin-off. And also, I reckon the next 2 episodes, because they're all back in the last 2 episodes, aren't they? They're all back. So that'll work.
Ms. Langford's back as well, isn't she? I believe so.
Yeah, Bonnie's in it. There's a highlight for us all to look forward to if they use her properly.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed with all the other appearances she's had. She's blinking, you'll miss her. You know,
she did a wee bit more to do in the one with Sute, didn't she? A little bit, you know.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
Listen, but
than she had in the Giggle. She was not much in the Giggle, but I wonder if that was a replacement casting, as we speculated before.
well, we'll soon find out, won't we?
Yeah.
Soon find out. Hey, Charles Waters is saying, who would invest in a sinking ship? Lunatics.
Exactly. Yeah.
John, Disney made up its mind ages ago. RTD is lying as usual to try and boost the audience. Who would be watching if it was announced it was cancelled months ago?
Yeah.
I mean, if that's true, more fool them, because there's nobody watching. Perhaps if they said, "Oh, this is going to be the last one for a few years," people might have watched. They might not have stayed with us, but they might have tuned in. Yeah. What else we got here? Julianne, what are you saying to us? The BBC have recommissioned This City Is Ours already for a second series, announced before the last episode of the first series aired. Oh, have they? I didn't know that. That's an interesting show. I haven't seen it, but I'm told by people that I know, including members of my family, that it's very good. This is the one that's set in Liverpool, I believe, isn't it, Julianne?
Right.
I don't know much more about it. I've been told I should watch it. I'm always worried, though, if I'm going to say this, I'm always worried I'm going to get annoyed if I watch television now, because I'm sick and tired of being preached to by it and being told, oh, you're the bad guy because of your skin color, or this has happened, or you've got these points of view, or just like Doctor Who is doing. So I don't. That's one of the reasons I don't watch television, because I'm sick and tired of it. I just.
Well, I said before, with Doctor Who, we just want escapism. We don't want preachiness, do we?
No. Somebody else who is a not we, actually, who views, you'll like this. A not we said to me the other day, this week, he tuned into a Doctor Who and didn't get through it because he said it's not the Doctor Who I remember. I wanted science fiction and I wanted good monsters, and what I got told was I'm a nasty person, so I switched it off.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing. And I said, yes, that's what's been happening for years, and that's why the fan base has deserted the show in its millions. Has it? I said, yeah. It's more of a Star Wars fan.
I'd love to see the what the BBC have made from this current era. Not just from the TV sales or whatever, or from Disney, but what they actually made from this. Because what can the profit be, from the merchandising, etc., etc.? Nothing, surely,
Yeah. I don't think nothing. Classic Who's where it's at. We know that, don't we? It's not worth it for the BBC to make high-budget Doctor Who, and increasingly doubtful if it's on any budget, said Josh H. And Sam is with us saying, Doctor Who used to be a story with a message, and I loved it. Now it's just a message, and I can't be bothered. It's wonderful, Jordan C. saying, any special will flop big time. Yeah. Do you know any... it's lovely seeing now on Eden, isn't it? As well as your DVDs and your Blu-rays, everybody. It's lovely seeing proper Doctor Who on the telly. Because you just remember what it was like. And then suddenly... you've got John Pertwee and some magnificent stories there.
I'm so keen. I'm so keen to get Midway's rating results for this, because the classic Who, the Pertwee stuff particularly, is so good, and the current stuff makes it look even better. So I'm hoping that will have an effect on the viewers watching it as well, because it's so good. It really is.
Yeah. The wilderness years were more diverse in the right sense of the word, says Badger 70, than anything on now, and arguably across all Doctor Who media since 2005, when it began to feel homogeneous. I totally agree with that, Badger 70. We didn't realise how good we had it when the show was off the air.
Yeah.
To be honest, because none of us saw race, colour, religion. There was none of that. All we just saw was a united Doctor Who front.
Yeah.
It's so sad we've lost that now because of all these prissy little idiots that have come through. So effective.
Oh, not the Vardens, Dougie. Surely, no, please, no.
Yeah, Paul's talking about Dougie Stewart's chat there, saying bring back the tin foil monsters. Yeah, they were great. The Vardens from Invasion of Time. I find TV shows now so hard to watch. Says Joe Parker. I don't go to the cinema anymore. I've turned to old 80s, 90s TV. It's so sad to see what's happening right now. Joe, you might know that I'm the same, because I've caught up with so much television that I missed from the 90s because I was always out working or partying. So I've seen so much, and then I've seen all this other stuff, and now we've got Doctor Who back on as well. So if I do go to a television, it's nothing major. It's not on the major channels. It'd be one of these repeat +1 channels.
Yeah.
And from years ago, the Rag Trade was on the other night. I couldn't believe it. Seasons of Cosplay. Hello. Nice to see you. I haven't watched Doctor Who since David Tennant was the Doctor, and just came across your channel. And my God, didn't know there was so much drama and how much it's gone downhill. Seasons of Cosplay, we are all in a state of shock, aren't we, Paul?
Yeah. It could have been so much better. We're all hoping for the best when Russell came back. and he just let us down horribly.
So did Tennant, really, because they knew what they were doing, didn't they? When Tennant came back, no disrespect, Season of Cosby, I used to like him, but now I just can't. I've got no time for him.
Yeah, I actually like him as well.
But they came back, him, Tennant, and Tate, and they followed Artie. I mean, Tennant as a fan should have said, "Why don't I just come back as the 10th Doctor? And why don't we just do this?" It would have been so easy to do, but no, they had to. They had to really endorse the Chibnall era.
Yeah.
And have Whittaker go into Tennant and give him another go at the Doctor with what was it, 14 incarnation or something?
Yeah. They could have easily just regenerated Jodie from Jodie to Shooty and done that, and the Doctor could have done the specials as a flashback or something easily. You know, it's easily done. There's a way to find it.
It would be very easy to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would be very easy to do. And if he wanted a 2 Doctor episode for the specials, as he obviously did.
Yeah.
The other thing he could have done is just had a more serious and less camp 15th Doctor turn up to say, "You're going to need a little bit of a hand right now, mate."
Yeah.
Who are you? I'm the Doctor. Cliffhanger.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
And then we go off with him rather than the other one. Oh, I see that.
Yeah.
We're fans. We can do this. Nice to see you, Seasons of Cosplay. Welcome to Who's Views. Lex Kane. It's just a rumor at the moment. Harrison Ford is retiring from acting. That's not a rumor. He's been saying it for ages.
Yeah.
He wants to go. And he's got the money to. And while he's 80 something, get out there, Harrison, and enjoy yourself, man.
Yeah.
You've earned it, you bloody legend.
Yeah.
Hasn't he? Go on.
Well, he did a superhero movie, The Red Hulk, recently, didn't he? So that was probably his pension sorted. Yeah.
He was so funny when he did that. Did you see him, Who Viewers, when he was doing the interview? There was this one nerd that was asking him about this and this and this and this, and Harrison just went, "What?" And there was another one. He just said, "They just paid me," and then he walked off. He's so cool. Harrison Ford, love him to bits. He's just so good. But if he wants to retire, bloody let him.
Yeah, let him retire. Yeah.
He's earned it. He's got the money. Go for it, I say. Go and cause merry hell, Mr. Ford. You legend, you. Dougie Stewart said they could always do a 15 Faces of Doctor Who season. No.
They'd be hard proof to find a good episode for Shooty, you know.
Yeah.
If they put on the equivalent of the Crotons, that would be Devil's Board, would it? So...
We're lucky to have you on You and Eden here, aren't we, Paul? We're lucky that they've now got the John Pertwee ones, and hopefully they're doing well. Hopefully they're doing well. As we said, as Paul's mentioned there, we are going to be trying to get the ratings for that, so Bedweir can report on how You and Eden is doing with the Doctor Who repeats, of which tonight we're up to the Demons Part 1. John Henson's with us saying, not watching. RTD grins with his fake smile as he promotes his rubbish show. Everything is stage managed. What worse? RTD looks at the camera and talks demented nonsense. Yeah. Well, you're right, though, aren't you, John? Because everything is stage managed. I mean, we know that because all these press releases and all the TV listings magazines, which we are going to be looking at as we do here on the channel on Friday for the Interstellar Song Contest, they're all scripted. Everything's scripted. Yeah. And it's all sent out from somebody who's obviously still working at BBC Studios, because there's nobody at Bad Wolf, allegedly. It's all in the dark. So it's all been done a long time ago. And as we now know, a lot of the production team of Doctor Who, including RTD and Jane Tranter, have moved on to other projects. So it's stage managed incredibly.
And not very well.
Yeah. Go on, Paul, you answer this one. From Lee Smith, how many projects are filming in Bad Wolf Studios this year?
None, I believe.
As far as we know, that's right, Lee. Nothing. It's in the dark. They were actually touting for business over the last few months with calls to use their production facilities.
Yeah. Because they need. I'm sure they're still paying for the building, aren't they?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
And I deny this reality, as Tom Baker's doctor once said. All hands on deck. Reminds us. You're absolutely right. Deadly Assassin, that wasn't it?
I had heard what. Sorry,
go on. PCA saying, Paul, even Kylie couldn't save it now. It's true. She's too busy.
I had
anyway.
One rumor, which I hope is not true, that there's going to be a CGI version of Hartnell in it. So,
not again. It's all these rumors this week that have come out over the last few days. They've been done. That reminds me. You talk for a minute while I find these rumors from.
Well, the reason why I was going to say it was because if you look at Rogue One, or which one of the Star Wars movies was it? Revenge of the Sith had a CGI rendering of Peter Cushing, who's apparently still available for work, it seems. But so if they're going to do the same thing with Hartnell because they've got the money to do it, you know what I mean? Because they've got Disney money, that would be awful if they got someone impersonating Hartnell and they're doing it with a CGI thing. That's just so tacky, you know.
Yeah, totally.
I think having a double's bad enough, you know, having some lookalikes bad enough, but
yeah. George is saying to us, large sets were more impressive than the expensive CGI they use nowadays. It's lucky that it's going back the other way now, isn't it? In some quarters, you know, really good. And Terrified Monk is saying, did you guys know Bill was a lesbian? No.
Well, that's news to me.
Yeah, I think I missed that one. That was really annoying, that series, I tell you. All right, so let's have a look at some of these. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and joining in the chat. It's lovely to see you all. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please give us a subscription and like the video, like the show. And if you've already subscribed to the channel, please make sure you're still subscribed. Huge thank you on this particular email to Alan Iveson, who got in touch saying, have you heard these spoilers? Rumors that they are, everybody. Listen to some of these. Oh, and what's this? Hello to Don Elmar II. Nice to see you. Welcome to Who's Views. Eccleston warned us of this when he left in 2005. Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Yeah. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. Here we go. Here's some of the rumors that have been going out this week. So thank you for compiling these, Alan, and sending them to us. Susan returns. That's one you talked about there. 2 bi-generated Ranis with Omega, who is in the Underverse.
Yeah. So there could be, I think Mrs. Flood could be the Rani, and the 2 others makes 3, and they could be the Unholy Trinity or something like that. Yeah.
Ridiculous. We've covered this one. Jodie Whittaker and Joe Martin are to feature in it. Joe Martin spoiler could have been for the episode just gone, though.
I wondered if they were going to copy Power of the Doctor, and if they were coming back, they would help Shooty regenerate in the same way that the other Doctors helped Jodie when she was forced to regenerate by the Master in Power of the Doctor. So it's complicated. Yeah, I know. So they may be in it as little cameos, but not necessarily being the replacements.
No, yeah. I am not looking forward to it. At least, thank God, I'm not watching this week's.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to going back to it the week after. Gatwoke, as Alan calls him, is to regenerate into a black woman at the end of the episode. Lydia West is the name being floated by in the rumors. Well, Lydia West has been hanging around the show for ages when it comes to that, just because she was in It's a Sin that RTD wrote.
She was touted when Jodie left, wasn't she? I think that was one of the replacements at that point, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And that's just, again, it's just nonsense, I think. But it's all because of that link, isn't it? Because they look at RTD worked with these people, so therefore this might be happening and this might be happening, and this might be happening. I just want to say thank you very much to Paul PTA there for your super chat. I was trying to find out where it is. Oh, look, there it is. Oh, it's a little pear, and he's going like this. There we go. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that, PTA. Good of you. Good of you. Can I get some Underverse in Asda George, says Benign Crinoid.
You might do, or Marks and Spencer's, depending where you go. Other underwear shops are available, yes.
Yeah. Austin is also saying to us, Austin Woods, hello, mate. We might be going about this all wrong. The last episode included Sutek and the memory TARDIS. Maybe the question is, what is the dumbest thing they could do? Carry on.
Yeah. All of the above that you've mentioned. And the rumors, yeah.
Here's more. I've seen an article from yesterday where RTD is now going on about an unholy trinity in the Underverse. The leaker spoiled the other episodes, I hasten to add. The leaker also has Mrs. Flood revealed to be the Rani at the end of this week's Abomination. Well, thank you for all that, Alan. That's very, very good of you. Now, a couple of weeks ago, or whenever it was, we talked about Star Hoovian, who was in the chat with us at the time. Remember saying, I know that name. I don't think I've interacted. He was in the chat with us. But he had some publicity from various sources as well, everybody, because he'd spoken about certain rumors, hadn't he? And he did say to us in the chat, I'll send you the details. Now, he was very good. So thank you so much to Star Hoovian. He did. Season 2 plot leaks to Who's Views 1. Thank you very much, mate. He's going on. Look, listen to some of these. Now, these again have resurfaced this week. Poor Rose, you might think that, but I couldn't possibly comment. It's been a while since you've had a little pair, JT. Congratulations. That reminds me of Barbara Windsor.
And Peter Gilmore, yeah.
Peter Gilmore.
Yeah.
Peter Gilmore. Bonus points, everybody in the chat. Name the story Peter Gilmore was in. There you go. A Doctor Who story. Right, so here's one. Here we go here. Following Ncuti Gatwa's recent decision to leave the series, the ending of the finale was reshot to end with the 15th Doctor regenerating. However, due to it being a last-minute decision, excuse me, the regeneration scene does unfortunately feel rather tacked on. The 16th Doctor has not been cast, so we won't see who the Doctor regenerates into. The 13th Doctor will make an appearance to somehow assist the 15th Doctor with that regeneration. Episode 7 involved the Doctor and Belinda living different lives in the Wish world. The episode opens with flashbacks to the Rani on horseback. The Asian actress Rani is seen riding a horse through a forest in Hungary at the beginning of Wish world. So this will be Angie. What's her name again?
I can't remember. Sorry.
Done it again, haven't I? I can't remember. I must write things down. Lots of you get it right there. Of course it is. It's Frontios. Tony Farrell's TARDIS. Paul Seeley. Paul Schlechter. Of course it's Frontios. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. 2,000 billion extra points to you all there. The Nine Crinoids saying the Rani and the gods of Ragnarok together at last. That sounds like a
tribute band. Yeah.
Maybe it's in the Saturdays episode. The song's in the Saturdays episode.
Oh, right, yeah. Is Ncuti singing then? Is he? Do we all...
Don't know, but we'll be looking at on Friday's headlines. Caroline Ford to return as Susan. There is some debate whether this is in Wish World, the reality world, or both. Susan is said to be a glass avatar, similar to what happened in something called Twice Upon a Time.
That's the last Capaldi episode.
Never saw it. Right. Mrs. Flood will be the one dropping the bombshell to the Doctor regarding Omega and his involvement in what is happening to him and Belinda. The Rani was the boss Meep referred to. Oh, the Rani was the boss Meep referred to. I've forgotten all about that. Haven't you, lot?
Yeah.
The season ends with the Daleks.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that. A teenage Belinda and her boyfriend are sitting on a park bench looking up at the night sky in the beginning of the robot revolution. He gives her one of those things where, this is one that these are ones that are things that said they were right. These are things that came through, including The Well is a sequel to Midnight. That came true as well. The villain in Lucky Day is an alien disguised as a popular podcaster, so that's true. The fugitive Doctor is in the story in The Engine, where the trickster god and Nancy is capturing people in a fake barbershop. That was right as well. Episode 6, which is this Saturday's, Freddie Fox is a not nice person holding the Interstellar Song Contest hostage. It ends with Mrs. Flood revealed as the Rani. Mrs. Flood regenerates from the Rani at the end of the Interstellar Song Contest and babbles about Omega. The person says, the person that all this information comes from, that a young Asian woman plays the current Rani, from which Mrs. Flood regenerates, but doesn't know who it is. It could be Archie Punjabi, who is still to be seen.
Right.
Lovely actress. So there you go. Thank you for that, Star Whovian, backing up some stuff. So a lot of the stuff that he was told to come true. Could the rest of this be true? We're going to know very, very soon, Paul. Does it get you excited?
No, not in the slightest. No, I'd love to be excited. Even the idea of the Daleks turning up at the end doesn't excite me, because unless they exterminate Ncuti, I'll not be happy. So
yeah, well, that's it. Oh, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if that was? Oh, we'd have fun. Paul Seeley, will Ncuti announce he's leaving during Eurovision? Well, you wondered that as well, Paul, didn't you? But I don't think he's got the time, because he's literally on for, I think it's less than a minute, and he has to do the scores, and it makes it about him to an audience that doesn't care. And also, it's a massive European audience where Doctor Who isn't a hit. They might not even know what Doctor Who is, especially France, because they never did grasp it.
Yeah.
Don Mar got it right as well. Frontios, well done. Matt is saying, nope, the Daleks are not coming back. And Virtual Baz, it's good to see you. Has there been any news on missing episodes being found? No, I'm afraid not, my friend. Afraid not.
There was an article that Sue Malden was at some event, Film is Fabulous event, saying they've got suspicions that they have episodes are in collectors' hands, and they know who they might be. That's all they've kind of hinted at. That's been it so far. But until they turn up, don't hold your breath. As
soon as it's announced, or as soon as anything's found or anything's bought, then we'll come and talk about it here on Headlines. Of course we will. Paul Rose, if we get Ncuti and Rylan in a scene together, the teeth will be blinding. Wear shades. Anyone who watches. That's fair enough. Thank goodness that's not on the big screen. Isabel, nice to see you. As a Portuguese American, I have a problem with an intergalactic song contest. Eurovision is a total thing for us. Is it? Yeah. I don't understand why they've gone down the route, and I'm a bit concerned about the plot line because something could it have been inspired by a real event? I'm going to say the artist name, but
yes, I know what you're getting at. Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
Ariana Grande, Manchester.
yeah.
I'm very uncomfortable with that. Again, so much of Doctor Who these days makes me uncomfortable. But could
And
it have been?
that's kind of too soon, isn't it? When you say it really is.
I think it's always too soon for that sort of stuff.
Yeah. But it's time wise, it's too soon. But in terms of tact and being very tacky, it's not a good thing to do. You know.
Well, I'll be bringing it up again on our next few shows because we're going to be talking about it more on headlines on Friday, along with our ratings update with Bedouia for you all to come and have a look at, and then of course our review of the Interstellar contest will be on Sunday at 8 o'clock here on the channel live. And don't forget, I'm not watching this episode, so a little bit of a twist. You guys in the chat, the Whotastic panel, will all be here to tell me about what I didn't miss.
Have you seen any of the sort of preview photographs from it? Some of it looks dire, really dire.
I've got them, but I can't be bothered looking at them. I have to because we're going to report the show on Thursday, on Friday and Sunday, so I will look. But I have
some of the aliens look so uninspired. As
Do they?
I was saying, yeah, just yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, I'll save that for Friday, but.
Yeah, more about it on Friday. Come back and join us on Friday, everybody. Friday, of course, or Saturday's episode, of course, is, of course, the one written by well-known homophobe JUNO DAWSON. And he's been sulking over the last day or two, really. And I thought to myself, I wonder why now? Nothing's ever suitable, is it now? We've been speaking a lot about him and stuff like this, and it's not going to go away. Unfortunately, now he is part of Doctor Who lore, if you want to call it that. He's going to be in every single book in the future that's written by somebody who wrote Doctor Who. Sad days. And we always wondered, didn't we, Paul, what would happen if the media got hold of this, which they were inevitably going to do. And it's very strange, I think, everybody, how suddenly Dawson's involvement with Doctor Who has been played down slightly. More of that on Friday. But there was this, I don't know if you saw this, Paul, Who viewers, but there was this that came along in the Telegraph, of all places. Doctor Who promotes queer tolerance, says the show's trans writer. Now, that for me, that headline alone is enough for any of the Notwees to go, oh, God.
Yeah.
Because British people are sick of this crap. I have to be honest. I'm not just talking about Doctor Who. They are sick and tired of all this stuff from these activists being pushed on them and being told you have to say this and you have to. And there's a massive, isn't there, Paul, in the UK?
Yeah.
There is a massive turn now as people wake up.
The thing about it is, like, why are all these things so important? You know, why can whether or not Dawson's a good writer or not, could they not be accepted on the merits as being simply a writer rather than having all the crap around it? You know what I mean? It seems bizarre. You know,
it's another one of these things. Whittaker, the first female, Gatwa, the first black, Dawson, the first trans, shouldn't necessarily be either, because there was a trans actor involved in Capaldi's era, and nobody
Sleep No More. Yeah.
Nobody cared, did they? Nobody gave a toss, quite frankly. Did we?
Yeah.
Didn't care. And it wasn't pushed either, if I remember rightly. It was a terrible episode. I think I fell asleep in it. But I fell asleep. Was it Sleep No More? I think I did fall. I don't know. Was that the one about the earwax monster?
No, it's not earwax. It's the grit you get in your eye when you sleep. You know, sleep in your eyes. That kind of grown from the sleep machine. Yeah.
Earwax monster. There's me giving them ideas again.
Yeah, that was season 3. Yeah.
Well, stand by your beds, everybody, because here we go with the rest of this. Fairness, peace, and the triumph of joy over hatred, blah, 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 are in the Time Lord's DNA, insists Dawson. Here we go. Doctor Who promotes queer tolerance, the show's first transgender writer has said. JUNO Dawson, a best-selling author known for young adult novels, joined RTD earlier this year to help script the Regenerated series starring Gatwa. The 43-year-old, who is the first openly transgender writer for the popular BBC show, said that a childhood love of Doctor Who and Eurovision was, quote, my way of saying I was queer before I knew what it was to be queer. Now, in case you're wondering, if you're new to the channel, I hate that word. It's a homophobic slur. I can't stand it. It reminds me of being beaten up and friends of mine beaten up and people I knew being murdered. I don't like the term. In my opinion, the only reason they use the word queer is because they can't say homosexual or same-sex attracted, because apparently that's transphobic. Let's get back to what he's saying. Dawson wrote in this week's Radio Times that it was unsurprising that the European Song Contest and the science fiction TV series were so beloved by LGBTQ++ people. Add any extra acronym that they want this minute. Both shows occasionally address queer themes. Last year's Eurovision winner, Nemo, was the first laughable non-binary performer, Dawson said. P.S. There's no such thing as non-binary in humans, you absolute dorks. But more generally, the DNA of Doctor Who and Eurovision is fairness, tolerance, peace, and the triumph of joy over hatred. Except it isn't, is it really? These people are so hypocritical, Paul.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't do what they say, they'll have you, and they'll try and censor you and cancel you and put you in prison and make your life hell. You know?
But they can say what they like. Yeah.
Exactly, and get away with it. And that's where we're at now, aren't we? We've got women fighting for their careers, fighting for their livelihoods against men that are demanding that they call them women. Oh, ridiculous. It's not hard to see why queer people have felt so. Blah, 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 blah. It says a Gatwa's starring role was the first time the Doctor has been played by an openly queer actor or by a black actor in the show's 61-year history. The sex education star 32 came out as queer in August 2023 in an interview with Elle magazine when discussing the importance of representation in the media. It's so boring. He described his role in the hit Netflix series as Eric Effiong, who is one of the few gay students. Look, they use the word gay, hurrah, as healing for him. Shout out to the screenwriter Laurie Nunn for giving nuance to this gay black character and grifting him to the world, Gatwa said. He's so fierce and unashamed. He was healing for me and great for people to see themselves represented. It taught me the importance of representation. It's so powerful and necessary. Gatwa has been playing the Doctor since the 2023 Christmas special, and since last month, the two lead parts have been portrayed by minority ethnic actors, for the first time. Previously, RTD, the head writer for Doctor Who, had criticised toxic people who claim the show is too woke. By that, he means all of us, everybody. Hi, Russell.
Yeah.
It carries on with the Welsh screenwriter and television producer, who's 62, said he had no time for complaints about the show's diversity and wokeness. In May last year, Gatwa said he felt sad for critics of the show's diversity. For me personally, he said, I find it fascinating that it matters so much to these people. In recent episodes, a transgender character referred to the Doctor as male presenting, and a drag queen made the point of using them as a personal pronoun. Yawn. Dawson, who also co-hosted the official Doctor Who podcast and penned the series spin-off podcast that nobody watched, said that Eurovision has inspired the show's content in the form of the Interstellar Song Contest. The author explained there might not be an obvious link between the Eurovision Song Contest and Doctor Who, but I do think they're cousins, if not sisters. But more than that, fans of Doctor Who and Eurovision can sometimes feel like outsiders, and that becomes part of someone's identity. When I was asked to write this episode, I was determined that my Interstellar Song Contest wouldn't make fun of Eurovision by having aliens dance around in tinfoil dresses, Dawson added. Who was asking about that in the chat before?
Why the Vardens are coming back. Superb female Vardens. Yeah.
Why would the show devolve in the far future? If anything, really? If anything, I thought it would continue to become even grander. Explaining that the episode is not all camp and glitter, Dawson added, I wanted to tell a human story because that's how you win Eurovision.
What a load of nonsense. Can I ask something, though? What is Shuti's sexuality got to do with playing the Doctor? Why does that matter? His ethnicity and his sexual preferences, why does that matter?
Because these people are obsessed, aren't they, Paul?
He's playing a character. Yeah. He's playing a character. So your sexuality doesn't matter. Your ethnicity doesn't matter. You're the character now. So why exploring these things? It's not important.
It's not important, but this has been out since the first female Doctor, hasn't it? Whittaker. You know, and these people are insane. They're obsessed with segregation. They're obsessed with putting people into boxes so that they can understand them. Everybody has to have a label for these wimps. Yeah.
Likewise with Jodie, if Jodie just played it, I'm the Doctor, that says doesn't matter I'm female or not. It's not important. Just play the part, play the character of the Doctor. That's the important part,
Exactly. What have we got here from the chat? Isabel, men deciding they want to be women should get used to how terrible women get treated. You're not going to get treated like a man anymore. Yeah, you're right there, aren't you, lovely? But also the thing is as well, they don't, because they get treated specially, don't they, these fellas? You know,
that's because they're originally men. That's the thing.
exactly.
You know,
So the amount of misogyny going around is absolutely incredible, and hypocritical. And they're all protected. I mean, right now, Isabel, if you don't know it as well, the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom has common sense. They have ruled and said, look, you know, and I'm paraphrasing and making it slightly funny here. They said, what you're all on about, a man has a penis and a woman has a vagina, end of story, good day. And they've kicked off. We've got various trade unions. We've got the entertainment industry saying we need clarity. We've got idiots in government saying we need clarity. No, you bloody don't. There's the clarity. What more do you need for you utter insane maniacs? Honestly. And then everybody else has been going, you know, oh, if you agree with this, you're transphobic. A blade of grass is transphobic. Give over.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything now, Isabel, honestly. Mike Disney's with us as well. Hi, Mike. Queer theory aims to disrupt normativity. Is that what you want? And Don L. Martin, I agree with you, JT. It is a slur. It's a huge slur. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I can't be done with it at all. And do you know what somebody was saying to me this week, Don? Oh, it's been reclaimed. Well, I didn't get the facts. Who told me it's been reclaimed? Quite frankly, what march did we go on to be reclaimed? No, it's not. There's a whole, not yet. Wait until my generation are dead and buried. Then you can bloody well reclaim it, because we were there and we know what it means. And there is nothing queer about same-sex relationships, because we fought bloody hard for our rights, and they've handed them over to the TQ.
What was achieved was kind of normality with it, and this has just made it abnormal again, isn't it? That the perception of it have been abnormal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's still an awful lot of us on our age groups and more, Paul, that know that it means odd.
Yeah.
You know, and other things. So, you know, and all these people of my age who are out there saying, oh, it's the kids thing and it's fine. No, it's not. And you should know better. And you should be leading these people.
I recommend they should show us in schools. The Naked Civil Servant with John Hurt, the story of
brilliant.
Show that in schools, and you'll see what it's like to be queer in 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, etc., and how awful it was, and how much of a slur it actually is. You know.
Yeah, and get people like RTD with his nonsense to actually write something real, where that word was used when people were being kicked, you know, the head kicked in and mauled and, you know, worse. But he won't, because he's glossed over it. So this nonsense he's writing next year will all be the Supreme Court ruling. Oh, it's wrong. It'll all be about it's and nots and rights that are already out there nobody conveniently forgets about. It's going to be bloody rubbish. We are going to be not reviewing it, but we will be looking at the ratings for it next year, because I reckon that could be the thing that finishes his career off for good, because nobody gives a toss apart from a minority about that horrible man. Kev Gresham, queer is an insulting word when I was growing up. Same here. Now getting a pronoun wrong, you can find yourself in soapy bubble, can't you just? Philip is agreeing with you, Paul. What has sex, gender, etc. got to do with Doctor Who or entertainment? Exactly. Exactly. And that's Austin's. That's funny. So I got a tattoo on my ass that says "exit only." No offense, pal, but I'll stick to lesbian. No. All done with fun. All done with fun. What else we got? Oh, it's great to see you all in the chat. It's nice to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Magic Stew, what are you saying to us here? As I said in your last live show, I'll say it again tonight. I'm done with this bollocks. I'm done defending it. R.I.P. 1963 to 2017. Yeah. I'm done with these crazies, says Rory and Cheryl and friends too. They are utterly lunatic. And Peter Venkman fans say, yes, they totally needed to be represented by badly written and acted character in subpar fan fetish stories. I'm horribly insulted, and these idiots should be embarrassed. They're not, though. That's the problem, isn't it, Peter?
No, they're not. They've no shame.
No shame at all. Julianne, Dawson's trans brigade are the most hateful, aggressive group of loonies I've ever crossed words with. I agree, totally. I now just don't bother at all, because they are insane. Paul Rose is saying, by toxic people, he means normal people of all sexual persuasions. It's RTD and his cronies that are toxic. Totally agree.
Yeah.
But they always manage to turn it round, don't they? They've managed to turn it round. And Raymond is reminding us, remember, the Doctor is gay now. He's not. The Doctor is queer now. It's totally different. It's totally. As I just said, Raymond, they can't say gay or same-sex attracted because it's transphobic.
The
Because
thing
of
of it
course,
is,
a trans woman is a woman according to them, and a trans man is a man. Not at all. But to suggest that a homosexual is going to date and then whatever a trans man, BBC Three, are you listening? They don't care that that's homophobic because it's actually heterosexuality.
well, I mean, you don't go around and introduce yourself and say you're gay, or I don't go introduce myself and say I'm heterosexual. So why do
No.
people have to do it in any other capacity? I don't understand.
Yeah. Does remind me about one of my friends though, when I'll say, "Oh, this is what blah blah blah," and as you can tell by the walk, he's gay. You know, but you gotta wind people up more. Shooty can't act. He's camp, says Paul Rounton. He's do you know what? Well, he is, and it's sad that they've turned the Doctor into this nonsense caricature, which we all feared. Just because of that, it's living up to a caricature with all this honey and all this nonsense, written for a minority audience, where we're getting to see just how small that audience is. It's certainly just over the 1 million mark, isn't it?
The character that Dick Emery played would be more convincing as the Doctor than Shooty. Let's be honest.
Clarence,
yeah.
Clarence, fabulous character.
Certainly Butcher for a start.
It's totally Butcher. Oh, hello, Honky Tonk. How are you?
Yes.
If RTD just wanted to attack and chastise people, he could have set up a Twitter account under a pseudonym, said Josh H. You would think he'd be busy working, wouldn't you? And Mark Poskett is with us. Hello, mate. Foolishly, I assumed that winning Eurovision was about writing and performing the best song, but discovering that it isn't doesn't explain everything. Last year's Eurovision has to be the most horrendous version of the Eurovision ever, because it was all about these idiot people. Oh, I'm sorry. These idiot people with their stupid flags and their labels and their aggression and their activism, thinking they were groundbreaking, and they were just lying, because there's no such thing as non-binary. Get a bloody therapist. You're a man or a woman, own it and deal with it like the rest of the world has done for millennia. Come on. Idiot people, eh? Honestly. But it was horrible. And I see that they've actually banned certain flags this year, including that bloody awful alleged progressive thing, the TQ cult one, I thought. You know.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the actual episode, some of it. I'd imagine elements of that as well, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it won't surprise me. Darren M. Hembro saying RTD is self-appointed. His opinions are more than damaging. I've got no time for him anymore. And Legion of James, it's an abhorrent word that stands for the very worst acts of hate and violence. Totally. Hello, Wayne Parsons. How are you? The gender issue will settle down eventually. Some people or institutions are too invested to be seen to be backing down too quickly. They went in as virtue signalers and they'll bow out the same way. I hope so. And I know what you're saying, Wayne. And thank you for that, because sometimes I do need cheering up, because sometimes I go to bed at night thinking everything's lost. Do you know what I mean? Everything's lost. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. But it's like Gareth Roberts said when he came onto Headlines. He said the same thing. He said they're too invested to back out. So you'd never get the likes of Tennant or RTD turning around now, because they've invested too much in it and they've on the pedestal and go blah, 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 blah.
They'll lose face. They can't do that, you know. So.
Exactly. Plus, all the idiots will go after them and hound them, and they'll never work again.
Yeah.
They'll never work again. And they know it now, even if they know they are wrong, which they don't because they think they're right. But no, you are right, Wayne. Hopefully we'll start seeing that. We've seen some movement in businesses over the last couple of weeks. Not enough, but hopefully you're right. Andy Radar, good to see you, and thank you so much for your super chat. I'm still waiting for the doctor to ask other aliens for the pronouns, since that was so important. We've had that, haven't we?
That's bound to happen on Saturday night, surely.
You need to tell me if it does, everybody, because I am expecting you to tell me on Sunday the amount of times the pronoun was used. Because we got it with the drag queen, didn't we? With Jerick.
You may require a pronoun ometer as well. I think potentially get your uncle to make another machine if you can. That'd be good.
Oh no, not doing another one. It took me minutes to do that last one, I tell you. Didn't it, Uncle Sydney? He's over there having a cup of tea and a suggestive biscuit, I tell you. But thank you for that, Randy Radar. Very good for you. Wayne Parsons is saying, "Oh, you are awful." Dick Emery, superb. What a genius. John Mason is also saying there's no such thing as pansexual. Isn't that just another word for bisexual?
they've just obviously swallowed a thesaurus, haven't they? That's the thing, you know.
They just made words up.
Yeah, yeah.
They're making things up all the time. LGBTQ plus 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 plus. Have you seen it all?
Yeah.
In Canada, you
Yeah.
get this two-spirit nonsense as well. What the hell?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, stupidity. Richard, hello, Richard Moore. Queer is a horrible, truly triggering word. Only ignorant people would use it, and there's a lot of them, sadly.
Yeah, yeah.
As we can see in that article. What have we got? Oh, hello to Peter Butler. Hello, Peter Butler. How are you? I'm old enough to remember when the program used to be written to entertain instead of preaching down to the audience.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Us too as well, although he's older. But yes.
Only slightly.
Yeah. And that's why I think it's going to be very popular now on You and Eden with the Pertwee reruns. And hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll do Tom as well. That'd be brilliant. Just like it was when it came to A New Generation on B Sky B and on UK Gold, you know, where the new generations found it, when parents were saying, oh, I watched this as a kid, you might like this.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll watch this and go, oh, this is better than what I'm used to. Because I still genuinely believe, Peter, that young people especially like a story. I don't think the art of storytelling is ever going to die. And ironically, that was the point they were trying to talk about in that nonsense the other night on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Alleged Doctor Who.
It warms my heart when you see younger fans going to conventions. I said this many times before. There's a great picture of Colin Baker with a like 7-year-old Doctor Who fan dressed as the Sixth Doctor. That was fantastic. That kind of stuff I think is wonderful. And I think that's the kind of thing that will make it survive, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if you look at our visitations we did on Sunday as that break show with Phil, and Teddy's on there as well. Now, Phil has got 2 young lads, and they're both loving Doctor Who. In fact, one of them really enjoys Time Lash.
Well, he's forced. He's tied them to the chair, haven't they? Watch it on a loop, hasn't he? I think he's done that. Yeah.
Yeah, but they love it. And you know, the photos that Phil showed us of the kids with all the costumes and stuff, which are beautiful, by the way, and all recreations or originals. Fantastic stuff. If you're around the Peterborough area, go and see this wonderful museum. But it's nice to see Teddy and Zach with the scarf and the cuddly Daleks and all this, isn't it? And there's a lot of kids out there we know, but we also know from you guys in the chat and you guys telling us, and people that actually are with us here on Who's Views, that some of you who have got children, you watch the episode first to see if it's suitable for your children. And I find that horrendous. I think that's so sad, because that's not what Doctor Who was about. Doctor Who was about letting your children watch it. You didn't have to blooming watch it first, did you, Paul?
Not at all. No. They may get a frisson of being scared of watching Doctor Who in the 70s or 60s or whatever, but it was safe to watch. It was exciting, you know?
Yeah. Like I say, JT says, Paul Rose, it already seems like forever, but this will all pass in time. Hang on in there, pal. I'm doing my best, but it's hard work when you see some of these things I'm responding to, and especially in the industry, the entertainment industry, they all belong in one great big padded cell, putting on a padded cell theatre. Tell you, like the end of Paddington, where they're all in the prison. That's how I think. Julianne, the performer seen in the episode stills is wearing a bloody rainbow frock. I did see that one.
Oh yeah.
Not a nice picture at all, is it? That one. You just think, oh god, here we go. But isn't that whole thing, by the way, that article there? Again, it's just hypocritical, because here he is putting all these things, saying it's all about peace and love and what have you. And then they're the first to come back at you saying, no, you've got to do this and you've got to do this.
Is he trying to prepare us for his episode being really crap? He's trying to kind of save it before it's aired, you know, that please like it, please, it'll be good, honest, you know?
Well, it's interesting because, as I say, we're going to come back to this on Friday, everybody. So come back and join us 8 o'clock on Friday for our preview, if you like, of the episode on Saturday. I was expecting a lot of promotion for him, Juno Dawson. There isn't.
I will tell you about Unleashed when it gets shown on Saturday. I'll be watching that to see what's on that, because there's bound to be some stuff on that, I'd imagine.
Well, good. You can come and tell us that on Sunday as well. But more of that on Friday. This type of Doctor Who is not for juniors at all, says Forbidden Man. No, it's not. It really isn't. And I can understand why a lot of you guys in the chat who have got kids are watching this thing first and then maybe deciding whether they can watch it or maybe not. but I think it's sad days. I wouldn't let any, call me old-fashioned, Paul.
You're old-fashioned.
Thank you. I wouldn't let kids watch this via kids.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Too worried.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they get enough of this indoctrination in school, never mind on your bloody telly. Dougie Stewart saying to us, the end of the season, Susan and the TARDIS, wake up, grandfather, it's just a bad dream. Ideal. That's where your Hartnell thing comes in.
Yeah, that'd be perfect, yeah. And just go right back to the start.
Yeah. Isabel is saying, I lost interest at Matt Smith. That's why I always said that last episode with the Cybermen and Koboldi was a nice jumping off point, because David Bradley walks in as the first incarnation, and that's where I stopped watching, because I thought, no, that's a perfect end. Perfect end. Because for me, the Doctor's still out there in the snow regenerating, and suddenly his first incarnation walks up, and I don't want to know what happens next. Yeah. Cut it. You know, cut it. Because this stuff I'm watching now doesn't count. Doesn't count. Bring back the JNT ethics, no sexuality, just good drama. Darren and Hembra. I don't think John Nathan Turner would be very impressed with what's on television now at all. He would have loved the Chibnall era, because Chibnall got a lot of slack, you know, and a lot of flack rather. A lot of, he would have loved all that. But I don't think he'd be very impressed with what was going on. And then RTD has said if John was around, he would hire him. I think John, it'd
be interesting to see what Verity would think of this version, because I know she wasn't overly keen on John's version or some of that. But which compared to that is like Hinchcliffe. So if so I think it'd be interesting to see what her take would have been on it. You know, because it's nothing like her show at all.
Well, it's nothing. Well, we know that, don't we? It's nothing like Doctor Who at all. JT RTD will be thrilled because Corrie and Emmerdale are doing a crossover. How pathetic! Yeah, I heard about this, Rory and Cheryl. I heard about this morning, and I said, "Pardon, I thought I heard that wrong because it was early in the month. I've heard that wrong, but no, it is apparently true, isn't it?" And I thought,
it won't be as good as Dimensions in Time. That's all I'm saying.
Just to get it
crossover, in for crossovers, I mean, you know.
Yeah, it has to get Dimensions in Time.
Any chance I get,
Edward is saying to us, my son watches the early New Who, but he doesn't like the later seasons because you're bringing it up well. You really are.
He's obviously got good taste.
Well. Yes. Yes. And Stephen Braddock with Nessie there. Yeah. I used to be sat by my parents in front of the television watching Doctor Who to keep me quiet while dinner was made. They never had to worry what I was watching. It was good to be scared. And yet we've got these people now doing Doctor who are worried about scaring the kids and things that are problematic because apparently they're all anxious. Well, one of the reasons they're all anxious is because they're surrounded by idiots like the people producing Doctor Who, working at the BBC and in education. Yeah, not everybody in education, but a lot of them, you know, with all this far left ideological crap. All the decent teachers get slammed down, by the way, and ignored.
Yeah.
Raymond Burns says, I hate Eurovision and present Doctor Who, so I will be watching Salem's Lot Saturday night. Oh, well, that's a bit cheerier, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, much cheerier, yeah. Definitely scarier, anyway. Yeah.
Julianne is saying, I think most of us have already assumed it will be crap. My young great nephews don't like this Doctor, so no danger, they will watch it. And Duncan the Funky Evans saying to us, and cut it now. Yeah.
I would be interested, JT, to see what why they don't like Shooty. What doesn't grab them about that Doctor? That'd be interesting to get some feedback on that, because seeing it from a younger perspective, because they don't like it, I don't like it, so why don't we like it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. If you can let us know, Julianne, please do. Oh no, you've started it again. Heretic is saying, I love Dimensions in Time. Tim Kins is saying Dimensions in Time too. They roll in for that. Ugh. Stuart Barnwell. Doctor Who used to be about escapism, and now it's just about pushing the message. Copyright critical drinker. It totally is, and it's been so rejected, and all the sad days.
Yeah.
Lex is saying to us, my nephew Luke. Hello, Luke. He's a Who's viewer. Hello, Luke. You very clever young man. You only needs to watch 2 more Doctor Who stories of Pertwee's first season. The second story of John Pertwee and Pertwee's third story, The Ambassadors of Space. Wow, that's big, isn't it? That's brilliant. So if he watches that, he'll go on to all the others, I would imagine. But yeah. Well done, Luke. Good to see you. I hope you're watching.
Envious of having to watch them for the first time all over again. That would be a lovely thing to do.
Yeah. John Henson is saying to us, Shooty is just another girl boss who cries a lot and is not the Doctor. And AKA, nice to see you, AKA. Shooty is playing Shooty, not the Doctor.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but I also think there's aka there's an element of Eric in there, because I nearly called some of our series Eric in Space, because that's all I see. I just see a little bit more mature Eric from Sex Education. And why is he seems to be getting typecast in all these queer characters. I mean, even the Marlowe and Shakespeare thing, they've turned them both queer, playing on a rumor, aren't they?
Yeah. A desperate rumor. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because you can't do that for all his career, can he? Oh, and AKA is in, yeah, Eric is also just shooting. Great minds, AKA.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Eric, says Austin. There we go. Well, yeah.
So I'm just laughing at Garbage's comment that we mentioned time lash and dimension time every episode. That has to be a we have to do differently, I think. Yeah.
Well, I'm with Paul Rose, who says, I cringe every time someone mentions dimensions in time. They really built it up beforehand. I had the Radio Times with the glasses and then I saw it. Yikes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, we've got that element there. Juno Dawson himself has, as I said, he hasn't been very happy about that article in the Telegraph. And thanks to Kirsty for sending in the Instagram. Again, she watches the Juno Dawson Instagram. Look at this one on the left. In 1988, said Dawson, Ace realizes her 60s crush is a massive racist. But yes, in 2025, I have finally ruined Doctor Who by making it woke. Sure thing, Telegraph. And then with a picture from the Happiness Patrol, Doctor Who has always been a fiercely political show. It has always championed the marginalized, the downtrodden, the misfits. I simply don't know what show these whiners have been watching, and obviously gone to the Happiness Patrol as one of the few episodes of Doctor Who that does.
Yeah, or blatantly does. Yeah, yeah.
I can't stand all this. Like, he's jumped on that bandwagon now saying, oh, Doctor Who was always this, 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 and this. No, it bloody wasn't. Can you, who viewers, do you remember this when you were a kid? Do you remember being bashed around the head in the Pyramids of Mars by a message, or the Deadly Assassin, or Inferno? Do you? Because I don't. What was the message in the Visitation or Castrovalva?
Don't give rats the plague. I don't know. Was it? I don't know.
Should we think about it, everybody? Oh, there wasn't one, you bloody idiot. But look at that. I mean, yawn, yawn, yawn. He's just... He's been getting on my nerves for years, everybody, because of his homophobia. And now he's in Doctor Who, and I've got to live with it, but he's still going to get on my nerves. There you go. There you go. But nonsense, isn't it? Just absolute nonsense. Here we are. Julianne's getting back to you. The boys don't find Doctor Who exciting. They chant boring, boring if it comes on the television. They love John, Tom, and Sylve. Harry, the oldest, 8, has a massive crush on Sarah Jane. Well, he's going to go far.
Yeah.
He'll be going far. But thanks for that, Julianne. Thanks for responding, though, because that's lovely, isn't it? That's what we want, isn't it? That's what we want.
These stats need to go to Russell. Look at this, Russell. This is what you're doing. You're ruining the show.
Yeah.
8-year-olds don't like it, and that's your audience, for goodness sake. Yeah.
Well, we're trying to get hold of it because we have had some information today sent to us where it actually says that the breakdown of the demographic that Russell says is working for them actually isn't, and that's one big possible lie. So we're gonna have a look at that, and we'll bring that to you at some point as well if we can get that verified and get the source correct. Okay, so we'll stay with us because we're going to come to that. Yes, Mudcrab, thank you for that one. And Stephen Braddock saying, I was actually called an ist last week because I didn't like Saturday's episode. I was told my comment was not respecting anyone and I was an ist. What's for criticizing the plot? Exactly.
Yeah.
I think we've all had it. And I remember you saying this on our show on Sunday, Stephen. And here we're not going to do that. We don't name call because it's just juvenile nonsense, isn't it? But, unless it's true, of course, like Juno Dawson. But that was just nonsense. And everybody that criticized the story in the engine on the BBC's web, social media and other places was eventually called an ist. I've been called it recently with those Joe Martin pictures saying that's not the doctor. # not my doctor. Dr. DEI2. Oh, you're an ist. And I just get back to them saying, yawn, change that bloody record. We're sick of it now. It means nothing. Nothing. Don't take it too seriously, Stephen. They're just unimaginative plodders.
Exactly.
John is saying, I saw no messages in Classic Who. And Tim Kins wants to know, was Juno childishly bitching at the Telegraph, who was kind enough to give him a freaking interview, moron?
Yeah.
Well, actually, The Telegraph didn't give him the interview. It came from the Radio Times, where it was an interview in the radio. We're going to be looking at it again for your enjoyment on Friday. So come and join us. Alexis saying, JUNO DAWSON, you don't know Classic Who. And Richard Hussey, no, I remember watching it with my parents and brother. It was a family show.
Yeah.
Skibidi is saying Doctor Who is about aliens.
Yeah.
De Morpin is saying, not surprising that such an uncreative writer can't even come up with an original talking point. Again, it's a message, it's an agenda, and it's one that Russell, as we all know, loves two pieces. So it's always going to be there. Bill is saying, though, it's always been political. It just hasn't been this constantly badly written. I don't think it's always been political. I think it was just about entertainment.
I think it was about entertainment, but it was seen on different levels. I think there are bits that people got, kids got, adults got, but still enough to engage everybody rather than being alienating and insulting and preachy, you know?
And if it was very, as you say, subtle.
Or clever, really, to be honest, clever. Look at Silurians, for instance, a lot in Silurians, which is really clever, you know, and it's a great entertaining story, you know?
Yeah, but the difference is nowadays is that they hit you on the head with a very blatant message to the fact that they've destroyed the character, and his backstory as well, just to deliver a message. No, I can't be done with it. Any messaging, if there was any, subtle and did not get in the way of telling good stories, says Paul Schlefter. Paddy and I, they can't rewrite the history of Doctor Who. They weren't even there, but they're having a damn good try, aren't they?
Oh, God,
and PTA, Docky Who had no political messaging as a kid. Star Trek did. Docky Who. Graham, he's not in proper Doctor Who, JT. This stuff doesn't count.
Yeah.
Exactly. Gav B is saying to us, the difference is that in Classic Who, any message was wrapped up in a great story. Now you're slapped around the head by the wet haddock of wokeness, and any semblance of a story is missing. Yeah. And Rose is saying to us, hey, boys, girls, men, women, or male, female, two genders, different ways of saying it. That is all that there is.
Yeah.
Jess wants Bertie Bassett as the next Doctor Who.
If only. Yeah. Is he available? Is he available? Probably not. He's probably too busy.
Well, he might be appearing at this museum that Phil went to at Peterborough.
Oh, maybe, yeah. That's why he's too busy, yeah.
Yeah, might be there, so that'd be good if he is. We've got Legion of James. These activist, ideological driven morons will find justification to drive their narrative in anything. In the wealth of great storytelling, a proper Doctor Who, of course, they find something. Yeah, definitely. And Edward is saying sheep following idiots. Well, yeah, on that point as well, I said I would give you this. If you're new to our channel, you won't know what I've been talking about recently, but I have been talking again about a BBC show. It's on BBC Three, and people like Dawson, everybody will be loving this show. The whole TQ cult will love it. It's called I Kissed a Boy. Now, what this is supposed to be, it stars Danny Minogue as the host as well, by the way. I'm so shocked and disappointed in you, Danny. Anyway, these people have put this show together, and it's supposed to have 10 same-sex attracted, i.e. gay, homosexual men, all young men, thrown onto some island or a house or something to see, like in a Big Brother thing, to see how they get on and to see if any romance or sexual activity, I would imagine, occurs for the delight of a viewing public. It's a bit spooky and a bit, yucky.
It's like Vengeance on Varos with sex. That's what it's like. Really.
Yeah, that's sort of stuff, trying to get off on this and sensationalizing what apparently are gay men. In my eyes, as a same-sex attracted man, vile, disgusting. No, thank you.
Well, any of these kind of things are, aren't they? They're kind of just.
Well, they're awful.
Yeah, like Love Island-y kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a tacky.
Yes, I don't even like it with the heterosexual lot, but this is the society we're in. Vengeance of Varus was right. Reality television is bad. It's lazy. It's crass. And here we are with it all over the shop. And people, independent companies over the last 20 years are all cropped up, and that's all they make. Get a job. Anyway, this one has come along called I Kissed a Boy. And one of the 10 men is a trans man. Therefore, a woman. So what this show has done is basically put a trans man in there, told these guys, oh, get on with this. And that's, for a lot of us in LGB, homophobic, because they're pushing heterosexuality onto these boys who are all same-sex attracted in the name of inclusion and diversity. Of course it is, because it's DEI. The show is causing a hell of a lot of fuss here in the UK. And it's now started to attract attention abroad, with the American LGB lot also coming on board. So thank you very much for your support. Now, a lot of us have been in touch with the BBC Complaints Division, and that includes me. And as I said at the weekend, I hadn't heard back from them. That said an awful lot to me. An awful lot to me. It meant that, hang on a minute, there's been a lot of complaints to this, because they actually sent me, Paul, a sort of out of office receipt saying, due to the nature of this and blah, 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 we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Today, I got a response, and it's utterly pathetic. Look at this. I Kissed a Boy, says the BBC's complaints team, is an inclusive dating show in which contestants are matched with a partner based on their dating preferences. Bear in mind, this is supposed to be same-sex attraction for a load of young gay lads. Duty of care to contributors is paramount, and the matching process is transparent and made clear to all contributors from the outset. Viewers follow along as the contestants get to know their new partners. In episode 1, Lars, the woman, explains that she is trans and says not all gay guys would be into a trans guy, and I understand that, and I'm very respectful of that. His, they say, her, I say, match, Jack, explains that he's always been open to dating a trans man. Then he's bisexual. He is not homosexual. We trust this addresses your concerns. It bloody well does not. Thanks again for getting in touch. We have shared your complaint with those responsible to the programme. If you'd like to understand how your complaint is handled at the BBC, look in the dustbin. Sorry, I've just added that. You might find it helpful to watch this short film. I didn't. It explains the BBC's process for responding to complaints, what to do if you aren't happy with your response, and how we share the feedback we receive. Kind regards, BBC Complaints Team. So I am not happy with that, because I called the show, the producers, the independent producers, the BBC, homophobic. And that's what they sent back to me, Paul. That's what they sent back to me.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's almost as bad as the response you got about Russell T Davies, isn't it, to be honest?
Yeah, which was washing their hands. It doesn't work for us. We don't want to know. I have actually put this onto my X account, everybody, and I'm delighted to say, and thank you very much to various people, including James Dreyfus and Graham Linehan, for retweeting and liking it. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that on a future show, but not this particular one, because I want to go and speak to them first. Gareth Roberts has also liked and reshared it. So to the three of them, they're not going to watch this, but to the three of them, huge thank you, because we're all in that one together. This is a real case of this. What has come back is I've had a lot of criticism as well from the TQ Cult members saying that I am transphobic, which apparently outweighs homophobia, because that's more important than transphobic.
Really?
Yeah, and apparently there's all these people going on saying you don't get to say whether Lars is man or woman. Well, she has a vagina, so I think I bloody well do, because that's the truth. If he says he's a man, then he's a man, says people. No, that's not how it works in the real world, I'm afraid. And this show is, and these people are homophobic. And if that young man is interested in her, he's bisexual or heterosexual. This whole thing is fake. So it looks like I'm off to Ofcom with my next stage of the complaint.
Oh, good.
Oh, I'm not letting it lie, Paul. You know me.
I didn't think you would. No, that's good that you are.
Yeah. Ofcom, here I come. Stay tuned. I'll be letting you know what happens with that one in the future. Well, thank you for listening to my babbling again, Paul. Thank you for listening to my babbling again, everybody in the chat.
That's all right. Yeah.
I get a lot off my chest here, everybody. Honestly, I really do. So thank you again. Listen, on this stage, I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who takes the time to email in at whosviews1@gmail.com or leaving a message and supporting LGB without the TQ. Thank you so much. It's so important that we put the word around, because homophobia is back 21st century style. And in my experience right now, it's worse than the original. It's worse because they can't even see homophobia and it counts as nothing.
Well, they just want to cancel you if you have a different opinion, and that's just not on, is it? Yeah.
No, absolutely. So on that one, we're going to say thank you very much for joining us, everybody. And don't forget, we're going to be back with headlines on Friday. Fingers crossed, with Bedweir's rating analysis update, as well as our preview of the story that's coming the night after, written by well-known homophobe JUNO DAWSON, which Paul and the rest of the Hootastic panel will be watching, because I'm not going to be.
Oh, no.
I can't wait to see what you guys in the chat and what this lot all make of it, though. I honestly can't wait to see what you think of it. It's going to be. I'm so
I
excited.
can't wait either. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Oh, I am excited about our show. I'm excited about having the Saturday off as well. To be honest, I'm going shopping. Okay, is that? So listen, to everybody that's here, yes, thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you have already, as usual, please make sure you are still subscribed. I am getting through all the Who's Views emails now. Everybody, stay with me. I know it takes me ages to get back to you, but I'm getting through them all now. I've got a few. I've got an evening off tomorrow. I'll have a look at them all. Paul, thank you so much for joining. Great show again tonight, as usual.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks again.
We'll see you all 8 o'clock Friday for headlines for Friday. Your big show on Friday. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Ta-ra.
Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.